he tried to say something like black folks was, when they come to Asian stores, they don't pay and all this kind of bullshit. And I'm like, wait a minute, nigga. Your ass done jumped into you done jumped into a predominantly, first of all, you done jumped into hip hop, which is a foundational music right off the rip. So, I mean, I'm going to find the audio. I never sent it to you before, but like.
Well, there's a couple things you got to take into account with China Mac. First thing is his gang affiliation is in the Asian side.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, they ain't even gang banging with blacks. They gang banging against other Asians. So his only interaction with like niggas was like in prison. You know?
That makes it worse.
Another thing is like he's not a rapper. I've never heard that man spit a bar. He's not a. He's just like he's a personality. Like them Asian gangs and the Chinese gangs and the Spanish gangs. It's hard to really gouge them because they taking the foundational swag.
Right,
but
it's weird.
But they ain't got nothing to really do with it. But you also got to take into account he is Asian. So if Charleston White's coming at him about why Asians getting this, he's gonna defend his race. So but he handled it the wrong way. He should just be like, you know what, foundationals do deserve that.
He's coming at it from he you got to see it was kind of funny actually when I listened to it, but he was saying that y'all are mad at me because you mad at us because you ain't getting extra duck sauce in your restaurants, and I'm like, hold on. And the Baglandpodcast got to speak on it. No, wait a minute. We done built up half of y'all damn businesses you being in black neighborhoods. Let's not do that. You really don't want to go there with me on that. See, a lot of folks ain't bringing that up. But this is what Charleston has something to say, and I agree 110%. He's had a lot of very inflammatory things that he said, but I agree with this 110%. And then we're going to go into Tekashi, because he's been waiting on this for a minute.
You spoke out on it, and a lot of people,
you hear it?
It seems like they didn't care about if he said it or not. They were more focused on your message.
They more focused on my message. That's how I know, nigga, they ain't my people, homie. Black people so motherfucking lost, nigga. We'll suck the white boy dick. We'll suck the Jew dick. We suck the Italian dick. We suck everybody dick, nigga. We kiss everybody ass. We don't protect the black woman. We don't protect the black children. Nigga, we were supposed to ride for Tamir Rice. Fuck George Floyd. We supposed to still be dying behind Tamir Rice, nigga.
Now that Tamir Rice one hit me different. You know why? Tamir wasn't doing nothing wrong. He was a kid playing with a fake gun. The 911 caller told the race soldier, and remember what I told you before. We talked about this, and we talk about this a lot. I said the new assassinations is going to be black children. Black children. And the ages are going to go lower and lower. Remember when we were talking about how they're going to go from the adults, the black men, to the women, to the teenagers, to the adolescents. And eventually, until people shut the shit down, I hate to say it, I couldn't put it past the race soldiers to start getting at toddlers.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
it's coming.
It's gonna have to get to the point where folks gonna have to shut that shit down, because they're like, okay, y'all ain't gonna do nothing about these adults. You ain't gonna do nothing about Tamir Rice. Okay, we just gonna keep it going. White supremacy is based on let me give the black man the most unfairest deal. We'll get into that in a minute, but that Tamir Rice thing, man, they didn't even give him a warning. What happened to Floyd? That wasn't just because it was George Floyd. And some people get it mixed up. They be like, well, it was one of the worst ones. No, it wasn't. Emmett Till was one of the worst ones. They lynched Floyd on camera. The difference between Floyd and Tamir Rice was Floyd had Floyd had, I'll say that he had been given some opportunity to, hey man, get in the car. So if he's tripping or if he's high,
he's given a whole lot of opportunity to get in the car.
He told him to get in the car. They told him a million times. Tamir Rice wasn't even given the opportunity to get in the car. So Charleston feels a certain way about that. I agree. It's like when the race soldiers pulled up, they just killed Tamir. They just killed him. That was a state sanctioned execution. What I mean by that is, for folks listening to this, a state sanctioned execution, which means it was ordered by the state. Now, some people would disagree with me. They would say, well, nobody told him to go do that. Remember what you told me about the other thing. What did they tell the 911 caller? The 911 caller said, this kid probably is a fake toy gun. That was what came over that phone line. Right? So Tamir wasn't given a chance at all, and race soldiers don't usually always get fired, they get transferred. So he got transferred to another department. He had already prior in his history, he really wasn't supposed to be a cop at all. He had already did a bunch of foul stuff before he got on the Ohio force. So we'll keep the Ohio going. We'll keep the audio going.
White folks will still be dying behind Tamir Rice, nigga. These niggas go on with their motherfucking life, nigga, because they ain't willing to die, kill, and go to jail for the race, nigga. But they'll kill you for your tennis shoes. They'll kill me for saying fuck DMX. They'll kill me for saying fuck China Mac, and China Mac saying nigga. China Mac threatened me publicly. But they mad at me for my response, but he get to threaten me publicly. Man, fuck these new race of black people. Nigga, we come from Texas. That's why I put this shirt on. Texas nigga. It's a Texas nigga nation. We don't fuck with Houston. We don't fuck with Dallas. Nigga, these niggas, we come out of Fort Worth, Texas, nigga. And I do what I've been doing for 10 years. Ain't now another nigga ever came and helped me. Wasn't no nigga with me when this little boy came home from the juvenile facility, my nigga. But it was plenty niggas on camera with me. It was plenty celebrities on camera with me. But wasn't no nigga with me when we came here to get him clothes and shoes. I represent a nation called niggas. Our grandmothers were slaves. I come from the white Sloan plantation. That's where I get my last name from. I trace my lineage back to slavery. I'm nigga. I ain't black. I ain't African American. I'm nigga. And I don't want to be nothing else but nigga. And this word should be on the wall, nigga. And don't no Chinese boy get to use it. Don't no Mexican get to use it. They don't know nothing about them people that was called niggas, and they laugh at them. They think nigga mean ignorant. They don't know them people didn't give a damn about reading that white boy's word, because that white boy word didn't mean nothing. Well, they can grow food on their own. They knew how to process chickens. They knew how.
What he's talking about, a lot of people don't understand what he's talking about. Before integration, even after slavery, during slavery and after slavery, during Reconstruction, when we were going to school, you remember at South High, when we were going to school, they made it seem every time around Black history, what did they tell us? King, they rarely mentioned Malcolm, if at all. King, Abraham Lincoln, oh, y'all were free and a change gonna come, a change gonna come. They made it seem almost like when niggas was left off the plantation, everything was hunky-dory and you just had everything going on for you. And it's like, no, black folks had to fight off the plantation. And then when they got off the plantation and they started to cut their literacy in half, I talk about this, I probably said this on this podcast 1,000 times. They cut their literacy in half in less than 20. They cut their illiteracy in half in less than 30 years on their very own, and built up their own enterprises. Tulsa, Oklahoma, it wasn't just Tulsa. North Carolina, Minnesota, everywhere. Across this whole country, black folks had that shit popping. Even while the little dusty clan rednecks was sitting up there talking about they don't know how to play a piano, niggas was out here building. We already built America from scratch, but they was rebuilding their own little segregated America, which was doing pretty damn good. That's what he's talking about. So the concern wasn't, okay, well, this man's book here, well, damn it, I got me some acres. It's not my 40 acres, but damn it, I know how to grow food. I know how to build a house because I built it before. You see what I'm saying? That's what he's talking about.
How to kill pigs and process pork. The white boy didn't know how to do that. The white boy didn't know how to build a motherfucking thing when he got here. Them niggas built this country. And the Chinese didn't go through what the niggas went through. So now, can't no motherfucking slant-eyed booty-faced motherfucker speak for the nigga and use that word and get to don't nobody say nothing? Nigga, we still got my grandmama 81 years old. You think she wanna hear a motherfucking Mexican hollering he a nigga? And them folks was hung. Them people was hung, homie. They couldn't even talk back to the white boy. They couldn't even look up at him and make eye contact with him. You think them Chinese motherfuckers get to use that word and I don't get mad? Man, fuck every nigga mad at me by saying something to that motherfucking Chinese motherfucker, homie. And I mean that. And I'll be in Houston this week and I dare motherfucker fuck with me by what I'm standing on, nigga, and you a nigga? You a nigga fit to fuck with me by the Chinese motherfucker? Nigga, you will burn in hell.
You think, especially in this generation.
Now, when he was saying, well, we built the nation, yes. Built the nation, and under Jim Crow quasi-slavery. Under Jim Crow, and I'm leading into this. This is important on what I'm leading into. Jim Crow quasi-slavery created all the music, created jazz, pretty much, and that's what I was telling you the other day, that the foundational was it's the unique American experience. It is the American experience, because when the race soldiers, when they took those 6% of black folks from Africa, dropped majority of them off in the Caribbean and Brazil. A lot of people, they didn't teach us that in school as well. This around about the 6% that came over here, they were totally stripped of pretty much everything. Like, if I wanted to go back and try to figure out who was who beyond the 1700s, bro, I mean, I could probably go as far as back in 1800. I might be able to go to 17. Pretty much 9 times out of 10, I probably wouldn't be able to go too far, because a lot of those old countries, you got to think, even the word Africa, that ain't the real name. Some white man named it. So there's different countries that don't exist anymore. So I really wouldn't be able to really find too much. Now, if I was from a place like where your folks from, like Eritrea or something, I probably will be able to do it. That's what was very unique about Neighborhood Nip. He could probably go back home and directly go back to his descendants, because he was a foundational too. But his dad, he was half foundation. No, he was half and half. His dad was from the motherland. But even still, when we were young, I remember seeing those little commercials, and they would show the African kids, and they be broke and they ain't got no money, and they be in these little dusty ass shanty towns. And I was a kid, and I was like, wait a minute. As a kid, when I used to see that, and I always see a white dude talking about send them some money, and I'm like, hold on, where is that money going? Because I don't believe that. You know, a lot of young black kids, a lot of times we used to look at Africa as like, okay, the motherland. We probably would never end up going, but we used to always think of it as like a mystical place. We would hold that continent towards like an almost mystical, legendary regard. You see what I'm saying? We used to hear Nas talk about Haile Selassie. I didn't really know too much about him, but we used to always hear him speak to them of high reverence. When we used to learn about a lot of African kings, Shaka Zulu, we used to look at them as almost not godlike, but like superheroes almost. You see what I'm saying? So when you hear somebody that you say, okay, well, yeah, I only met blacks in prison. So you met the lower rings of society. You've met us at our worst. So your standard is, China Mac, is you look at niggas as, well, these criminal ass gang banging, crack slanging, shoot 'em up niggas. That's how you look at us. From the street perspective. Okay, I understand you're coming from the streets, but that's how you look at us. Hurry up and buy. Y'all is tripping because you ain't getting no extra duck sauce and you're not paying for your nails. Do you know? Put it like this. When he said that, that's how he had got him out of his feelings. And I'm so glad that Charleston got on his ass to make him feel a certain way, because that's what he really felt like. Hey, you niggas just come in here, you hurry up and buy, you don't pay for your nails and this, that, and the third, you want some extra duck sauce. Charleston white fans, that's what y'all want. No, you wasn't talking to Charleston white fans, you was talking to foundationals, because we're the only people that really shop with y'all. We're the only people where your economic base, we built, and you know what? Nobody was really tripping. And to be honest, you can't name a Frederick Douglass. Frederick Douglass in the 1800s was standing up for the Chinese folk. A lot of people don't know that. I said, let me call up Solomon. I said, we gonna have to do some straightening. Oh, we gonna have to do some straightening, because you got folks now that done got way besides so our folks done gave way too damn much for y'all to be sitting up here trying to say, well, hey, well, you're not getting extra duck sauce or whatever. So a few niggas went up in your restaurant and wanted some extra duck sauce that didn't pay for your nails. How many black people across this entire nation helped build up a lot of the Asian economic enterprise when it comes to them being in the store? So then he tried to pivot. He tried to clean it up later. He said, well, we're not the ones that put y'all in jail, and we ain't the ones that had y'all on the plantation and this, that. He tried to really clean it up towards the end and try to make it on some, well, we all need to come together and all this. No, it's too late. You done said something slick. You look at black people, specifically foundational black Americans, you look at us as, well, yeah, I did this some time in Rikers and this, that, and so I've been around these guys. And if you look at a lot of the videos he's with Asian dudes, and you look at some of the brothers that he's around, yeah, these are dudes from the street that you're looking around. But you haven't really mentioned black folks from the Cosbys or Rosewood or give me another, like you haven't like, if you ever seen Crooklyn, the Spike Lee joint, you haven't mentioned good, decent black folk. You're looking at niggas from the standpoint of just criminal, felony niggas, shoe program, maximum security niggas, and that's bullshit. And I'm glad Charleston called it out. I'm gonna keep going for a little bit. Then we're gonna get into we're gonna get into the real nitty gritty of what I want to point out.
Fuck this generation. This generation is a homosexual generation. I don't want to care nothing about this generation.
But to my point, where I'm getting to is that people
fair
go
use,
to bat
YouTube,
for
fair use.
People that look rich or they feel as though can do more for them at the time. He has all this, the chains and the glitz and glamours and the cars, and
he ain't done nothing for it. He taking their money.
But people feel as though he could benefit them more than you can. So I'm on his side because I could benefit from him before I could benefit from Charleston White.
Well, they gave y'all coronavirus, so keep going over there and getting coronavirus from them people. They make the ramen noodles you feeding your kids. That's plastic that China make. See, motherfuckers don't know. Them Chinese motherfuckers, some low down dirty motherfuckers to the world, nigga. They got concentration camps of Africans over there. They the #1 Harvard, Oregon.
Bars. Is he lying or telling the truth? Man, listen.
What?
They got conscience. Man, the way that they're doing the African, my boycott's been standing. Ever since over there in China, and Biden ain't spoke about it. Ain't nobody spoke about it over here. They ain't said nothing. And like I say, I don't know them brothers over there, but I looked at it like those folks, they Africans, but they black. I looked at it like, hold on, they wouldn't let them leave. Do you remember back a couple years ago where they were throwing Africans out their house and all kind of shit out there in China and all that?
Yeah.
I said, I ain't buying not one more bowl of fried rice.
Yeah. I mean, anytime you go to, like, 7 Mile Bargain, or what is that place called?
Man, nope.
7 Mile.
Yeah, we don't.
Anytime you go there, you don't even see any Asians in there. All you see is black women and black men.
Yeah, I don't.
You don't even see Asians.
Yeah, I don't go. I don't directly spend no money with them folk, and you know what? It ain't got nothing to do with me hating them or none of that. It's just that. No, man. I said, you know, when my wife used to like buy hair materials or whatever, now we just gonna go to a black salon.
Yeah.
Is there an
look
African
at what they
salon?
do.
Is there? I'm gonna go
look at
to
what Asians do.
I'm gonna go to a foundational salon. Who's some foundationals? Okay, we can't
How many Asians you've seen in a soul food restaurant?
Man, it ain't happening. You'll
They
get bits and
don't
pieces.
spend with black folk.
You'll get bits and pieces, and that ain't enough. You'll get
Man,
bits
where
and
do you
pieces.
even see bits and pieces? Where?
You'll see the occasional Asian dude or Asian girl that's with a brother, and then you might see them there.
That ain't
but
that often,
ain't nothing.
especially here in Minnesota.
That ain't
You
happening.
got to think about it. Look at the Somali race. Look at the Asian races, the different Asian races. Look at the Hispanic races. They all spend money with their own communities.
So that's what.
Matter of fact, they all those I named have, like, Somali community. They have 2 malls.
Man, they got more than that.
Yeah, I think they might. You're right. They might even have more than 2. Asians, they got all those, or Mexicans, they got all those little strip malls with all their little bodegas down there.
Yeah, and
Foundationals got to start spending with themselves. But here's the thing, like with Charleston White and really China Mac. But I mean, to be honest with you, Asians, as long as Asians ain't getting involved in gang stuff, they ain't really a problem for race soldiers. They ain't really tripping about them. But what happens is when you start seeing that, you start seeing and you start hearing the white man just laughing at all that shit.
oh yeah, definitely, absolutely.
You know, he's laughing. He's laughing at every last one of you motherfuckers, because let's be real about it. You talking about spending money with Asians. I don't. So, I mean, you know, I don't know when I ever have. You know what I'm saying? Besides buying Nikes and shit, you spending money with them regardless.
Right.
But,
yeah.
I mean, you're going to spend money with Asians regardless because they run shit. But, I mean, I get what you mean on the business level. But the truth is let's not harp on the money that's being spent in the Asian communities. Let's harp on the money being spent in the white community.
That too.
No, it's not that too. That's the real fucking problem. You know, let's you know, look at it in that regard. You know, here's another thing. You want to know where you're not going to see Somalians and Asians and Hispanics? Go to the Mall of America. You ain't gonna see them motherfuckers over there. On top of spending money in their own communities, they don't spend money with the white dude.
You paint a good point.
That's how you really. Yeah, they don't spend money with them. And then look. You can look at it like this, even on a business level. The white man has conditioned society to think you get, you know, when you work with me, you're doing things the right way. You know, because, like, think of it like this. I'll hire people with different little businesses I have, and these are people I know, but they'll have an issue with maybe wearing my uniform with my name on it, or my, you know, a name tag with my name on it. And I told one brother, he's a real good friend of mine, too. I told him, I'm like, look, man, I'm seeing you at your personal job right now. You're wearing the shirt of your job, a hat that your job has provided you, a coat that your job has provided you, and that doesn't seem to be a problem. But when you're working with me, it seems to be an issue because a lot of people are either, when it comes to money, they're conditioned to go through the white man.
That's that plantation complex. Basically, what it is I don't want to give Solomon Enterprise a chance. But when I go to white daddy and white mommy, I want to kiss their ass. I bet you if they told that nigga,
no, it's not even kiss their ass, DP. It's not even kiss their ass. It's even bigger than that. It's like the mind is conditioned.
Colonized.
You know, like I could tell you people in this sewer neighborhood here that, you know, are into that government assistance world. You talk to them, right? And they're like, man, I'm broke to the first. What do you mean? I'm broke till I get my next check. Oh, so there's nothing you can do in that time frame? Nothing? You just gotta wait because the white man's conditioned these motherfuckers. You get paid when I goddamn it say you get paid. Or how about this one? We all hear in our walks of life. I'm broke until my next paycheck.
Jeez.
What does that mean? That means there's nothing else you could do in that 6 or 7 days to generate some money. You just broke until the white man cuts you another check. People are conditioned. Even when you hear people, and for your listeners, when you hear somebody in their personal life tell you that, well, I'm broke until I get paid next, or I'm broke until the first. Say, what, there's nothing you can do? There's no other way. You have no skills. You have no talent. You have no other way of generating money, or you block that out of your brain because you're conditioned, well, I get paid when the white man says. We are conditioned to do commerce with white people, and that has to stop.
I want to segue into two things that really popped in my mind when you said that. One is an old story, and then we'll get into this next subject afterwards in a little bit. But the first one is you said you were telling me before. You know,
what
a lot of black
You're
folk.
Breaking up.
You were telling me before that a lot of black folk. Does it sound better now?
Yeah.
Okay. That a lot of black folks, some of them think, well, I can only get some paper if I go through them. So I gotta wait on my daily bread before getting something. Even the folks that might get up and go to work. And I think about back in the day, I was talking to one of my homies from the neighborhood. He was like, man, you probably didn't know what you were doing, DP, but you kind of ushered us into a little hustle uninherently. Back when you had the mixtapes and you were one of the first niggas with a CD burner. We used to come. Yeah,
you were the first. Not one of the first.
We used to come to your house. You built your own computer. We used to come to your house, and even as the years went by, when you got your little dupe and you was doing the Smack DVDs and all that, that was like one of the quintessential things for some young black men to make some pretty much legit money. Like I remember when I used to be out hustling over South, and I remember when the police would roll up on Nicollet and they would roll up in all these different little blocks and stuff, and it'd be dudes crowding around me trying to get mixtapes and stuff, t-shirts, socks. They'd scatter. When the police came, they scattered.
Would come?
Yeah, because they had, a lot of them had work, some of them had weed. They were hustling, and then you know how the hustle is dudes is hustling, and then they buy CDs, so they get up with a female, ride around, and do whatever they do. So they gotta scatter. Police pull up to me. Hey, what you doing? Oh man, I'm just getting you some bread. What you got in that bag? Oh, I just got mixtapes, DVDs. They said, what? Let me see that. So they really thinking like, okay, they asking him, why didn't you run? I said, I ain't got nothing to run. I ain't doing nothing wrong. He said, you got a permit for this? I'm like, no. I said, I can't get no permit for no selling no mixtapes. And he's like, you got a point. He said, look, kid, all them other dudes sell drugs. He told me flat out, long as you ain't from the store, he said, you can do what the fuck you want. I don't give a damn about this unauthorized duplication bullshit. He said, you got any pipes on you? I said, no. You got any crack? I said, no. You got any weed? No warrants? No. He said, dude, that happened to me 1,000 times. Do whatever the fuck you want. Let me see your ID. Okay. Them other dudes selling drugs, as long as we don't catch you with no drugs, do what the fuck you want. It kind of blew them away because they were like, man, most of the guys around your age selling crack. They really didn't know what to do at that time because, they wasn't going to arrest me and bring me down for selling CDs. They were like, okay, they're just not going to do that. Now, if you're standing in front of Target or some shit like that, they might say, hey, man, just go across the street. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, man, they're not going to, so a lot, what I did is I said, all right, now I'm going to start doing computer repair. And I remember a long time ago when you were at the holiday, you taught me a painful lesson one day. I was out there in front of the Holiday. I was selling some CDs. You taught me this. I never did this shit again. It was some little light-skinned chick that I liked. I guess she was over there. I was trying to holler at her. And she was
She worked there?
She didn't work there. But you knew like, oh, okay, they're going to be. I was trying to, and this was kind of around, this probably was kind of around maybe high school time a little bit.
A little bit after 01, 2002.
Maybe a little bit after. And I must have been around. I didn't have a car yet or whatever, but I kind of liked the chick, and so I was trying to give her some free shit. And you pulled me to the side afterwards, like, man, don't do that shit again, bro. He said, you ain't about your paper. He said, don't give her shit free.
No, I don't give her nothing for free because I mean, she's not that quick in a relationship.
Yeah, you don't know her. You like her. You're communicating to her that she ain't got to earn anything, and you're not getting your paper. And from that point on, if it was some chick I like or whatever, and I was trying to, holler at her or whatever like that, no, I'm not. I ain't. And ever since I had used that concept, they was giving me money. It wasn't a situation where like I had to spend money on chicks and stuff like that. They seen like, okay, this nigga's out here, because women could see potential. They could see as you grow and you go, as you go, on and on. So ever since I did that, they start spending more money with me. It wasn't like I was giving out a bunch of free stuff, but it was just that concept. And truth be told, a lot of the women would break more bread than a lot of the dudes. Because
the females are looking for John. So when you Johns to your viewers, you're just like a sucker. So when you start going with a girl and you start, spending with her right away and doing all that before you've established something with her, she's not going to get a chance to know you. She's
she
just
don't
gonna look
respect
at you as a John. You a sucker.
She don't respect it. And so I was wondering why the girl never called me. And you were like, yeah, DP, she ain't gonna call you. She done got a free CD. Now, had you have told her this is the price, she would have valued it. And that's one thing you taught me. You're like, okay, she has to value your product. Now,
yeah, you gotta value your product and value you.
And value me.
If she would have respected you more, for charging her $5 than you would have given her for free. Like, I'll give your viewers or your listeners here an analogy. I gave a guy, I used to know this guy. He used to call in on your show.
Okay.
I used to hang out with him at one time. He ended up being a real loser, but we used to go out to the bars and I used to go hang out. And he would try to attract friends. So he'd buy everybody drinks. And I said, and then one day he told me, he was like, man, nobody invites me to any after parties, and I'm the one who bought all the drinks. Why is that? And I said, listen, man. I was like, me and you could be sitting at a bar every day. Somebody could walk up to you and ask you for a beer, and you could buy them a beer. They could ask me for a beer, and I could tell that motherfucker, you got a habit, go support it. They're going to respect me more than they're going to respect you. That's just the mentality of the people of the world we live in. You know what I mean? I could tell the motherfucker, kick rocks, man. I ain't got nothing for you. Get the fuck out of here. He's going to respect me more than he's going to respect you. Everybody wants to be a pimp. Nobody wants to be a John. You know what I'm saying? So everybody wants to be on that other end of the spectrum. Everybody wants to play somebody, or, you know what I mean? And the people that you see that don't have that mentality, those are the people that are happily married.
Yeah.
You see, I'm guilty of it too. I'm not just talking about other people. Up now, I'm turning 40 in a couple weeks, so I'm a little more calmed down to it. But there's a time where any woman that walked into my life, what can you do for me? How are you going to enhance me? How are you going to, what can I get from you? And that mentality is cool for a while, but it don't lead to nothing.
Yeah.
In the end, but what happens is people are always looking to be on either one end of that. Either I'm the motherfucker playing somebody, or some bitches like to be played. And that's the mentality we're talking about. There's a lot of people have the mentality of hookers.
Yeah.
A hooker likes a motherfucker who don't like her. You know, and that's the mentality. Like I told the guy, I could tell every motherfucker that asked me for a drink, you could kick rocks, get away from me. And you could buy them drinks all night, and they respect me more than you. He just couldn't understand what I was telling him. It's the mentality of the world you live in. Everybody's looking for a sucker. And in the hood, that's why you don't see too many nice guys in the hood. Too many good Samaritans. You mean to tell me there's not good people around? There are, but it's just once that goodness is mistaken for weakness, now it opens the floodgates to things, you know, and that's something that is a community of people got to get better at, you know, got to get like the kid, the DP that's in the neighborhood that was the first person to bring computers in the neighborhood, the first person to talk about downloading music. That kind of stuff has to be embraced. Because you see the white community, they embrace greatness.
Yeah.
In the inner city, you don't really, when you live in the hood, it's hard. It's hard to have an individual identity because if you don't fit in and you don't dress and you don't act like the other kids, there's something wrong with you.
Yeah, and that's another thing that, you know, and see, I didn't realize that what I was doing, and my guy was trying to tell me, he said, bro, like, you kind of put us on to you kind of put everybody on to a new way of thinking, even though it seemed real simple. Me, I was just making mixtapes and shit like that, but there was a process. That's like, you know, it was, you know, and that's one thing I appreciate back then when we were coming up is there was a process to everything. Like I had to go to Nano Systems on University Avenue. I had to take the 16. I had to, you know, go and work at Cub after school and take my checks. Because you got to think, before I had my CD burner, I worked at Cub Foods. Because we all worked at Cub Foods. If you lived over south, that's probably where you worked, unless you was a trapper.
Yeah, you worked there.
You worked there at some point in time. And even if you was a nigga trapping, you still worked there because you used that for your flip money. You worked at Cub Foods. Everybody worked at Cub Foods at some point in time. And once I got my burner, or once I was working at Cub Foods, remember, I bought piece by piece. I was the only person doing it. I was doing it alone. I bought piece by piece. I don't even think I had a book, bro. I bought piece by piece. The first thing I bought, I'm gonna tell you what I bought, and this is the reason why I bought it. This is a game for the listeners. I bought the shell. I bought the box. I didn't buy the motherboard. I bought the box, and the reason why I bought the box is because I had a shell. I wanted to come home after work and stay focused. I wanted to come home and see, okay, this is the computer box. This is the outside. This is the vanity right here. This is the box. So I have to see this every time I come home from work to tell myself, okay, all right, DP, now it's time to get the motherboard and the hard drive. Now it's time to get the power supply. I bought the box and the power supply. That powers everything. And when I had all the pieces together, I put them all together. I went and bought the CD burner. That was the last thing I bought for $229. I bought some of the parts from General Nano Systems. I bought some of the parts from General Nano Systems. I went in there. You probably been in there before. They act real funny when black folks went up in there. They didn't really want to give me much information. I was buying certain parts from them. So what did I do? Directly a block and a half away, you know, by that gas station. You know what gas station I'm talking about too. There was a gas station on the corner, and right next to it there was a computer store by an Asian dude. He went.
Yeah, I know exactly. I know what I'm talking about. I know. Yeah, you go up them little steps.
Yeah.
That gas station's still there, but not that place.
Not that place. But he had it laid. It almost reminded me of the Apple store. When I walked in, it kind of felt like home. He wasn't acting funny. I brought my computer up there. Let me tell you what I did. I brought my computer up there because he seen what I had. And he helped put a lot of my shit in there. And he showed me how to do what they call a dual boot. He showed me how to set up a partition, which means is take the hard drive and logically, not physically, but just take a little chunk of the hard drive and dedicate some space to where okay, you have Windows XP that as your operating system, and then let's say in the Windows XP starts acting funny, you could just boot it from the partition and reinstall it. Let's say you get a virus or whatever. He did that. And I think I bought the CD burner from Best Buy for $229, HP 8X, and that was it. That was it. That right there.
You were a trendsetter, and they knew as soon as you walked in, A, you're spending money, and B, you ain't gonna give them no problem.
Yeah, because I wasn't going.
You were a trendsetter.
I wasn't going to that man's establishment unless I was spending money. You see what I'm saying? And so
yeah, he knew that. He knew as soon as you walked in, he's gonna spend money, and he's not gonna give me any problems. But you did have a couple of issues up there, I think, especially at General Nano Systems.
Yeah. I had a few issues because I went back there because they had some parts that the Asian guy was just getting started, but he had a plan, and I noticed over time his prices started to go up. He started to get more and more computers. I mean, it was popping, and he was one of the few people working there. But I did have a couple issues when I went to Nano Systems. Now, eventually, Nano Systems had went under.
Yeah, they're not there anymore.
Oh, they're not going there anymore. Hardware really ain't a thing because everything is going to the cloud. But yeah, man, I had no issue. I actually, like I said, okay, I'd rather spend it. Cause see, when you're young, we don't really understand the playing field a lot of times when we're young. We weren't in, I'll say, a competitive place where we're going up against other races for the economic slice. We're still in our teens. We don't really understand how the world works. So when we're going and we're spending $1, we really, at that point, we didn't know anything about Dr. Claude Anderson. Dr. Claude Anderson was kicking in work even back when we were kids. But we didn't know anything about it because our parents didn't tell us about folks like that. We didn't really know about the psychological, economic empowerment and the mind state of Marcus Garvey. We may have heard about him, but we didn't understand it. So when we went to go spend our money, whether it be Jordans, whether it be whatever, we spent unbiased. Black folks, we didn't think of anything in a second thought when it comes to spending money with other people. Other people, other races, they sit their children down early. Hey, you ain't got to hang them niggas from a tree, but listen, spend some money with your folks. You see what I'm saying? They sit them down early to be intentional. Our folks wasn't sitting us down. They were just like, okay, well, go to college, get a job, keep your head low, all that bullshit. So, the good thing about it is what we got to see, especially growing up in the West Bank, and we talk about it all the time, is we got to see a lot of small business owners. You walk down Cedar, okay, because what I remember is, okay, the gyro shop dude, I think he was Egyptian or some shit. You seen a lot of East African stores. So we seen quite a few black businesses. It wasn't a lot of foundationals.
No, those were not. Those don't count.
You don't count those? I
no, because they're not foundational. That's a different animal.
But
a totally different animal. And those places you just named, none of them had the mentality of all foundationals. Please come here. You're home. None of them had that mentality.
But when
if you're a foundational and you go in a Somali place of business, 9 times out of 10, they're gonna be, you're not gonna get that best service.
But when I went remember that one time I went? What was the one where the Eritreans owned it? It was right on the. It was right by the grocery store. No, there was
Kilimanjaro, that whole block. That block right there, Kilimanjaro and all them.
But there was another one. There's on the same block where I had to beat that dude up by the grocery store with the blue banner out there. The Somalians owned that at that point.
They own that whole block.
But there was a store where you brought me in one day, and I think it was Eritreans or Ethiopians. You brought me in to get a burger one day. I don't know if the Somalians owned it, but it has the big tall glass. It's right next to the grocery store with the blue banner.
Are you sure it's not further down the block?
It's a little further down the block, but it's
talking about Kilimanjaro?
No. It's not that far. It's because remember, Associated Bank is at the
Oh, you
end.
talking about Chili Time? They used to be an Eritrean-owned business for about 30 years.
All right, now when you brought me into there, it wasn't the same treatment.
No,
It
you're
was
not.
straight.
You're not Eritrean.
No, what I'm saying is, it was better than when I went to the other stores.
Oh no, yeah, because those places you named, those races, those businesses are for them. You see what I'm saying? As odd and as weird as it sounds, they don't even really want you spending money with them.
I know.
That mentality of we own shit. It's like our customer service is not even catered towards you. You know, like we got a tobacco shop. We only got one tobacco shop in this neighborhood. It's a little up the block, right? And it's ironically owned by some Somali people who ain't supposed to even use tobacco. But
Really?
so yeah, the store opens whenever it wants.
Yeah.
The time on there don't matter. So a lot of people will wonder, why is that? And I explain to them, look, man, the mentality of these people in their country, there's now multiple stores. So if you own, say, a tobacco shop, you own the only one. So you open it whatever you want to. You talk to people however the fuck you feel like talking to. You know what I mean? They ain't got no choice of where to spend. So like that, it's a total different mentality. The customer service is different. So when you go into a Somali business, or that guy you talking about, the Euro guy, he's Palestinian. So when you go into them places, you're not home. You're not spending money with your community. So now I totally disagree with you. You know what I mean?
But I didn't know.
Even me as an Eritrean, if I go in a Somali store, I'm not spending money with my people. They're my people.
But I didn't. But see, me being 16, 17, me walking up and down the block to Cedar, the thing is, a lot of foundationals, we don't, especially when we're young, we don't really look until treated otherwise. We don't really look at, well, this ain't my folks. We looking at it like, oh, these some brothers like us. Now we go into the store and get treated like shit. We like, damn, I thought we was, you know what I'm saying? But
right.
I got to see black faces with small businesses, so it kind of rubbed off on me a little bit, bro. See, I'm seeing that blueprint. Now, if I go in, I'm not welcome that much. Even PDQ, man. When I used to go to PDQ, man, PDQ. I always remember PDQ being. Did the Somalians own PDQ?
Not growing up, but towards the end.
Okay, because
like towards the end of me being there, yeah, but not in the beginning stages. PDQ was owned by the same people who owned the whole Cedar Riverside.
Okay, well later on, like when I used to go over your house and stuff, it used to always be a Somalian dude, and he would be.
Yeah, then I think by that point, yeah, it was Somali owned. But I'm saying growing up, it wasn't. But I think by that point, but here's another catch. 22 to that, that makes the argument not so fair. You see, Somalians, and this is something that I talk to you about a lot, they have a hierarchy.
Right.
So the leaders of the crew, they'll say, hey, we getting ready to, especially it's tribal. So the leader of that tribe will say, hey, man, I got plans on buying this building right here. So what he'll do is he'll go to everybody in his community and get as much money as he needs. So say he needs $200,000 down, and he's got 1,000 people in his community. You do the math. I need 100 out of all y'all.
Right.
Or I need 200 from all y'all. Now I'm going to open this, and then our tribe is going to shine.
And that's a code of conduct, as it should.
Yeah,
that's a code of conduct. Now let me ask you this.
And that's what they robbed, they robbed that of the foundational black man by erasing the history.
Yeah, and
the lineage.
And now and then just throwing one slab of meat on the table and making everybody fight for it. And the foundational race, that's where the lack of unity doesn't come from the people, it comes from the system. Creates that. It's a brilliant plan. Very devious and very evil.
Willie Lynch.
So for example, let's say let's say I was in Cedar Riverside, for example, right? And remember, like I told you, that Somali chick I used to talk to. Now, she told me flat out, you know, you a descendant, so my people really ain't too keen on you, and you're not Muslim. That was like the main
that's
issue.
the key one right there. Is you're not Muslim.
But she said, you know, now check this out. But she said, you know what? They looking at it a certain way, but she said, I'm not gonna go by what they say. So she was kind of a little rebel, a little bit like, but she said, you know, now let's just say I was just a basketball playing ass nigga, ended up at the U of M and became a fucking millionaire. Now, let's say a nigga were to marry her or whatever the case may be. Would if I was a foundational but not a Muslim, going in that community, and let's say I just got to know a couple of the brothers and say, hey, you know, I want to, you know, my wife, she from Africa, but you know, I want to just help y'all out. You know, I want to, you know, knock y'all down with 30 to 100. I'm a basketball playing nigga. I'm on the Timberwolves, whatever the case may be. You ain't one of these corny ass niggas that went and got a Becky, and you know what I'm saying. Let's just say that, would they accept it? Or would they be like, okay, he's not Muslim, he's a foundational, he's not Muslim, we ain't accepting shit from this nigga? Or would they be like, oh, no, brother. Would they be on some shit like that?
Well, I mean, you're a foundational, and you have to explain that to me one more time.
Okay, let's say, for example, like this, like how you're saying in their tribe, $100. Let's say I got cool with some, and I was a Timberwolf player or some shit, has a bunch of Somali friends or whatever, just want to look out. Or let's just say I was just Jerome down the block, just your DP, just down the block, and had got cool with some of them, and I was a nigga with some money, and they wanted to open up a business, and I'm like, well shit, y'all give y'all 20-30 racks, I'll blow that shit in the club. Like, would they accept it? Or would they be like,
well, I mean, you're a millionaire?
Nigga, up maybe about 400, 500K or some shit. I don't know.
I mean, probably not, because of you're Somali, and they wouldn't. I mean, you're a Christian, so they probably wouldn't do business with you on that level.
Oh, so the code is strong. Like they ain't even rocking with it at all. You're saying
they might do a business with you, but not one of their businesses. You see what I'm saying? You might be telling them, hey man, let's open up a Nike outlet or something. Yeah, okay, let's do that. But if you want to come at them with like, I'm going to invest in a Somali restaurant or something as a Christian, no, they ain't fucking with you.
Not like an investment, but like how you said, you have the runaway.
Oh yeah, everybody's got a. Yeah, they ain't doing that with you. Is it a Christian? No, they got. Oh, how would you even get in the picture?
Well, for like I'm saying, remember I told you I used to talk to this Somali chick, and they.
No, you're far removed from that.
Oh, okay.
You would have had to become Muslim, change your name, and be seen at the mosques all the time.
So if I said,
then you'd have to have some big wigs vouch for you.
So basically if I said, no, I'm a foundational, I ain't about to change my name.
No, you can be a foundational. That ain't the problem.
But I'm not changing my name. I'm not changing my name. I'm not changing.
You got to have Muhammad. You got to have Muhammad in your first, middle, or last name to be considered Muslim.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So Muhammad has to be either your first, middle, or last name. I know some guys with the name Muhammad.
Now, okay. Now, let me ask you this here. I don't really see, and it ain't no beef, but I don't really see. Is it a foundational thing? Because I don't really see them rock with the nation too much. And you know the nation of Islam got a strong code of conduct, but they don't really mess with them like that.
Well, there's a difference because you got your Muslims, like Somali Muslims, Saudi Arabian Muslims. They're not too keen on American Muslims.
Why?
Because there's a thought process that a lot of American Muslims are bought into because they recruit. You know, they recruit people, to try to get you to become. Anytime you sitting there talking to a hardcore Muslim and you having a real conversation with him, he's gonna try to convert you. And a lot of times there's money with that conversion. So sometimes they look at the American Muslims, Black American Muslims, like there's a lack of credibility.
Oh man, jeez, damn, that's crazy.
Like I'm
bro.
Muslim, like it's like somebody saying I was born into this, and somebody else they're looking at it like you're a Muslim today, and tomorrow you might go back to being a Christian.
Oh, okay. So basically,
yeah.
like,
So they're not looking at that. I think, but to get into that type of world, you would have to be as a foundational. You could never get to the point where you're the one getting the money. Like all y'all get some money together so I can do this. You would be one of the guys contributing money. Because they would never allow foundational to get to that position.
Oh, because it's a tribal thing.
It's a tribal thing, and then it's just like, wait a minute, why are we listening to him? We could listen to someone else. You know, who's he? You know, he's not even Somali. You know, and they're the best at that. That's why the Eritreans and Ethiopians been in America probably 25 years before Somali. You know, but they were able to understand working together.
Do you remember
having a hierarchy?
I'm gonna mention a name. I mean, nobody won't really know it, but I just thought about this because we used to be playing basketball. Marone, do you remember Marone? You remember him?
Yeah, oh yeah. He's going through some tough times.
Man, where was he from, bro?
He's Eritrean.
I knew it. I fucking knew it.
Yeah.
Marone was cool as shit.
100%.
I knew it.
Yeah.
I knew it. I wasn't sure, but he kind of threw me off. I wasn't sure where he's from because he kind of got the. I was like, is this nigga from Egypt? I know he's a nigga, but I'm not sure where he's from. I couldn't figure out where he's from, and he had like the hazel eyes or some shit. He looked kind of different, but I said, I know he's from East Africa, but where? I could not figure that shit out when I was a kid. But we was kids at the time. We ain't really thinking about it. But I remember, I said, Marone, I know that. I don't think that nigga Somali. He's Eritrean.
He's Eritrean. Ace too.
Hey, Ace was. Yeah.
Those
Ace.
guys fell on some bad luck though. I mean, like Marone, his mom taking good care of him, but Marone, he smoked some laced shit.
Damn, yeah.
Some shit that was laced, and man, it fucked his brain up big time.
He had a couple moves on the court, man.
Yeah, he was a little bit. And then Ace, you can find him right there on Cedar with a sign in his hand.
That's crazy. I mean, Ace used to be a hustler, man. Ace used to kind of have a little hustle. He had a little
got
hustle.
Nothing now. And his hustle now is holding a sign. Work. I need money. And then he tries to cover his face so nobody will see him.
Damn, bro.
And then he'll even sit in a wheelchair sometimes and try to get some more sympathy.
That's crazy.
It's sad. I mean, it's sad reality,
I remember.
Sad reality. And if you see in the Cedar Riverside, man, you see a lot of these Somali kids, man, they hooked on the fentanyl. And
I'll tell you a little story about Ace a long time ago. I wasn't going to say it before, but I'm like, shit, it's old news. But I remember he had years ago, I remember I knocked one of his bras. This was a little badass light-skinned chick one time, man. I think she had broke up with the nigga, and I said, well, shit. I mean, we were cordial, but he wasn't like a day one. He wasn't like you. He wasn't like a nigga I called, a guy I gave a fuck about. It's like, you know what I'm saying? She told me her little sob story, and I'm like, hey, what's happening? You know what I'm saying? But, nah, that's unfortunate, man. But, I'm glad you kind of brought that to me, man, because, like, yeah, man, like, it's a hell of a code of conduct, man. And, like, even in the nation, I get where you're seeing the differences where they're kind of like, all right, we were born into this in Somalia. Like, y'all probably done started this maybe later, but, like, in the nation, a lot of guys, that's why you rarely hear about brothers and sisters, something happening to them. Far as, I mean, like, a lot of them dudes used to be from the streets. They're like Malcolm. Malcolm was from the streets. Malcolm was a street dude. You know what I'm saying? And he just, he did time. He turned it around, and look what he became. one of our most esteemed foundational leaders probably ever on this planet Earth. A lot of them dudes be ex-members. You know what I'm saying? They really from the streets, and they clean it up. So even though they try to live righteous and stuff, you rarely hear about dudes. You never really hear situations. If you ever notice, you very, very rarely hear situations about race soldiers doing stuff to them, or the police manhandling them and all that. That don't really happen too often. If you ever noticed that.
With who?
With the nation.
Nah, it's strength in numbers.
You don't hear that, because if somebody does something to them, I mean, it's gonna be ugly. You know, because they know that. They don't bother nobody. But you play with them the wrong way, you touch one of the sisters or one of the brothers, man, listen.
Especially in New York and California.
Man, please. You touch one of the brothers or the sisters in the wrong way, it's going up. And
I used to work for a guy back in the day. I used to PCA for a guy that he's a foundational that became a Muslim in San Francisco, and he was one of the guards. There's something called the Spiritual Jubilee.
Okay.
That happened in the early 80s, late 70s. And it was trying to bring do you remember Jim Jones and the People's Temple?
Oh man, that was crazy. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, so they would work next door. They were next door to each other. So they'd have it out all the time. So then they came up with this thing called a Spiritual Jubilee, so we can kind of get on the same page. You know, he told me one day, Jim walked up to him and said, "Son, forget everything you know and just follow me."
Oh, man.
Just forget everything you know and just follow me, goddammit. I'll take you where you need to go.
That's the
thing is, that's those guys, like, there's a fine line between being a pastor, a real good pastor, and being a good pimp. It's really close together, because it's all about that mouthpiece. I've met some pimps, man, that you would think, how the fuck does this motherfucker got bitches? Motherfucker 5'2", 110 pounds, got every bitch in the world because he got that mouthpiece and that confidence. That's what bitches want.
And that's where they get that chucks, that tabernacle sanctuary and that chuck stuff. They always say that chucks.
What a church, yeah, church, that's a little pimp term, you know what I mean? But did you see what's been going on with Tekashi here lately?
Man, I was just about to play that, and that's what I was getting ready to segue in. Is these folks now? Before we play this clip, everybody, listeners on the Bagland, there's a lesson to being a 5K1 rat. There's a lesson into that. Okay. Now, not only that, when we got back to this China Mac thing, we have people in our population, the black population, that uses our culture, negative or positive, and they propel themselves. Tekashi, superstar, lame as hell. When I first seen him, with his little different color hair, and they probably told him, I said, all right, these New York Bloods gonna have a problem. I knew it when I seen it. Because I'm looking at the standard from my city. And I think that if a guy like that were to come up on 38th in Chicago, they would have whooped that nigga's ass and kicked him off the set. You ain't about to come over here with no little different color hair. You see what I'm saying? So
not without a crew.
I didn't believe it. And see, the thing
they wouldn't have kicked him out if he had 9 Trey with him.
No, they probably wouldn't have. But the thing is like,
I don't know. 9 Trey would have made sure of it.
Right, but the thing is, I don't.
Treyway.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. You know, I don't think Tekashi would have been able to even come over to the Blood neighborhood over here, because he got here in Minneapolis and they was running him off the block. I think the Somalis got his ass up out of here.
But DP, you gotta understand, he would have. If somebody would have had a mind, because he was never accepted as a gang member. That's a misconception. They peeped that he can rap. Shotty, the leader of Treyway, peeped that the kid can rap and we can make some money, and this motherfucker can fund what the fuck we about to do. And Shotty also wanted to be a Suge Knight type nigga.
But look what happened. If I was the OG,
look, in the end,
if I was the OG from up here in Minneapolis, that nigga can't come over here. But
there was some Somalis with that.
What was their problem? What was their issue?
What happened is they paid him to do a walkthrough.
And he didn't show up?
Whatever they call that. Well, this is according to him. According to him, they paid him to do a walkthrough. And then they were like, we're not going to pay you unless you do 2 songs.
So the walkthrough,
he's like, what the fuck?
The walkthrough is you can show up.
Yeah, like, you know, at the clubs, they'll pay you just to kind of walk. They will pay you 10 or 15 racks to just walk around the club twice.
Walk around the club twice?
Yeah. 2-3 times. It's called a walkthrough. Celebrities make 20, 30 grand doing that all the time.
So I walk in the club, maybe hit the bar or the the VIP, and then come back.
Nah, you ain't gonna be. You're gonna walk around the whole bar. So when you see a flyer that says, "Oh, DJ," and maybe not DJ Envy, but like, I don't know, think it's Lil Reese or somebody. He's gonna be at the Mystic and he's not performing. You're thinking he's gonna be there all night. No, he's doing a walkthrough. So they paid him probably 20 grand, do a walkthrough. So what the idea in that is people are going to call their phone and be like, oh, so-and-so's here at this club. Y'all got to get over here. Or another thing is going to look at like, oh, y'all got a poppin' ass bar. You got celebrities coming in here.
Right,
so I'm going to come here, you know?
Yeah.
So what happened? So according to him, when that walkthrough was over, he went to get his money and they're like, nah, do 2 shows. Do 2 songs. Give us 2 songs and let us do 2 songs real quick and then we'll pay you. And he was like, nah. So that came into a shootout. But he was never, 6ix9ine was never, he didn't initially know Treyway as a gang member. He knew them niggas because he was around the block, you know, trying to rap a little bit, gaining a little traction. Shotty seen, let me sign this dude. Let me make him think he's a part of this gang. We'll protect him and he'll get hot and we'll blow up. It all worked up until a certain point. The problem is Shotty didn't stop being a gangster once the millions came in. Suge Knight, for all intents and purposes, did a lot of shit behind the scenes. Got you in rooms, did shit to you. But he was smart enough not to be involved with him physically shooting motherfuckers, until the end. In the height of death row, Suge Knight was doing all his shit behind the scenes. These guys, Treyway, they took the money from him that they were making through him, and they did a great job because this kid was up to, he was making millions. Shotty's supposed to be his manager. They're beating him out of money to a large degree. Basically, put it to you like this. It was a gang. It was Treyway saying, let's make this dude think he's a part of our gang so we can make money. Protection, all this. He's paying all them niggas. When he bounced, when he did the song with Nicki Minaj and all them, they realized like he's about to leave us. He's about to bounce. So let's kill him. Think of that.
That's crazy.
So let's kill him. The feds hear that. Now, you see when Gunna got locked up and I was telling you the whole time what was going to happen? Because it's exactly what happened to 6ix9ine. What they did is this. You didn't kill anybody, 6ix9ine. We know you didn't kill anybody. We don't want you. We want Shotty and we want Treyway. But guess what? You're going to lead us to him. So here's what they did. They came up to him. So they were watching him. Now they're on the wiretap. Jim Jones and Shotty are talking. And he tells Shotty, you got to super violate him.
Oh, yeah.
You gotta finish him. Because if you finish him right now, you own the masters to this shit that he's just doing now, and you're gonna probably make 40, 50 million. Kill this nigga right now before he bounces. The feds got wind of that because they were all on wiretap. So that next day, the feds arrest him. They arrest 6ix9ine. Not to protect 6ix9ine. Let's lock 6ix9ine up because if they kill 6ix9ine, guess what? That's our link to what the fuck these niggas are doing.
How did Jim Jones escape that?
Jim Jones, you tell me. That's what Whack 100's been asking for the last year, 2-3 years. How in the fuck is this guy on wiretap saying y'all got to super violate him, and all of a sudden now he ain't involved?
I mean, that's a RICO.
So what happens?
That's a RICO.
So what happens with that? So what happens with that, DP, is the feds arrest 6ix9ine, knowing you can't die. So 6ix9ine made it worse. But so here's what they do: they arrest you like they did Gunna, like they do 6ix9ine. Okay, we're gonna lock you up especially we're gonna make you think about it. And 6ix9ine, he even had the guts to even say, I was gonna squeal right away. But they made me sit for 2 years, and then, no, you're going to tell us everything we want to know. Then we'll let you go, because we know you ain't killed nobody. You know, we know what's going on here. We know you're just being exploited by these gang members. You're not a thug. You're nothing. And now to backtrack, so I got the intel on why he got jumped.
Let's play the footage real quick. Let's get your analysis. Let's play the footage real quick.
Fuck, nigga. That's how they gonna treat you. Bitch ass. Mickey Mouse ass, clown ass nigga. Go ahead.
All right, now he's explaining, looking like a.
Yo, nigga, jump 6ix9ine, bro. Yo, homie, I'm not gonna lie, bro. I'm a fan, bro. Yo, I'm a fan. I'm a fan, bro.
That guy's the funniest at the end.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
Now, when the first time I heard about it, I said, this might have been for some clout or whatever the case may be. Maybe 6ix9ine just wanted some views. But then I thought about it. I said, wait a minute. If you're going to play the gangster role as long as you can, which you really can't, security going to cost you $10,000, $15,000. The feds don't need you anymore. That man really can't do no show. You ain't got really no solid dudes around you. So, what's this all about? Like, you ain't got no security and you just gonna go to Florida? Somebody's gonna catch you somewhere. So,
see, this situation was a little more intricate. A couple of days before that, see, right now they have something in baseball called the World Baseball Classic, where everybody's getting into their countries and the countries are playing each other.
Okay.
You know, so Team Mexico against Team whatever. So the other day they had Team Mexico versus, and this is in Florida, Team Mexico versus Team Dominican Republic. Okay, Tekashi was drunk at this game, wilding out, and got kicked out of the game for being too drunk. And he made a lot of disparaging comments towards the Dominican Republic team and the country.
Oh, okay.
So this was in direct retaliation from that. And I have to give up the source is, what's the guy's name? What is his name? He used to have Star and Buck Wild. Star.
Oh, okay.
Star broke that. That's what that was about. And then, you know, they also know he's a rat. You know what I mean? But they're saying he's getting ready to sue the LA Fitness.
That might be his best bet. He's a rat, so he might as well go ahead and try to get some money out of them. But the thing is, LA Fitness can say this. Tekashi can try to say, well, hey, I was not safe. I'm a celebrity. But LA Fitness can say, where's your security? I mean, does he really even have a case?
You can't say that. You can't say that at all. Hell no. You can't say that. If you get assaulted in a place of business, that place of business can't tell you where's your security. I'll tell you where's your security. That's what I would do. That's an open and shut case.
I mean, how do we know that you didn't start the fight, Tekashi?
Well, here's the thing. Remember we were talking about why there's no fades? You want to know who's going to get prosecuted in the fight? The guy that won.
Right.
That's why you don't see fights. That's why people just go to shoot, because it's like, if I whoop his ass, I'm going to jail. Two people could talk shit. The guy that wins the fight is going to get the assault charge.
Yeah.
You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So he's got an open and shut case against them. That's for sure. unless he said something that provoked them, but it don't look like it because the one dude called his other two to come. So it doesn't look like it. He's gonna get some money off of it. You know what I mean? That's the sad part, and he's gonna run his mouth.
And then it's on tape. Somebody videotaped this.
One of the guys.
Yeah,
it's 3 guys. So 2 guys are stomping on them, and then 1 guy's recording.
Yeah, so that's like, now that's like, okay, that's premeditated. That's the theory.
They're gonna get in trouble. They're gonna get charged. I mean, let's see if Tekashi's gonna pursue criminal charges against them. Now you really be a bitch.
Well, yeah, and at this point, it's kind of like he could just get his money as buttered. He's a rat right now. So
what was the name of his album? He's playing into the fact that he's a snitch, you know, because you asked me one day who's going to buy his album. I said other snitches. There's a whole world of them. You know what I'm saying? Other whole-ass niggas.
Yeah, people,
he's going to be their president.
And people don't care, and it might be some little white kids that they don't care. You know what I'm saying? They're not like us. We're like, we ain't going to listen to niggas. But, you know.
See, when you break it down the way he does, because he did a long interview I watched with the Shade Room. So when he's, because the kid has a mouthpiece on him, he's able to spin things pretty well, you know. So the way he explains it, of course, anybody would snitch. But here's the thing: is when you take an oath to be a gangster and be in the gangs, you don't make police statements.
Right.
Period. End of story. Nothing. You handle it on your own. I don't want to hear this bullshit he was talking about. Like he thought he was bad, big and bad, and he got in the world, and he's not. But his fans are going to be other people that have done that.
Right.
There's a whole market. I mean, like we talked one day, being lame and lame ass niggas, that's a crew now. That's a set. That's a clique. It's not just there's that one guy over there that don't work and he's a loser. And then there's another. No, there's so many of them. They've clicked up. Let's just be lame together.
Yeah.
And a guy like Tekashi, so for everybody that snitched, that likes rap, and everybody that's told on motherfuckers, and everybody that thought he was like a Matt Cloud fake thug, that's who always Tekashi reminded me of, was Matt Cloud.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, he reminded me of Matt Cloud. So like when you see them kind of people, understand something. Tekashi's their fan. The whole ass nigga that you know, DP, the whole ass nigga that your viewers know that snitches and be telling on everybody, he's buying a 6ix9ine album.
Yeah.
What's he gonna say? He's not gonna call him a rat because he's a rat.
No, he's not.
So you know what the name of his first album when he got out of jail was? It was Tattletale. That's what he named it. He's trolling motherfuckers, and he's smart to do it. Now he's fucking with Whack 100. Whack is gonna help his marketing.
Yeah, and Whack has the ability to do so. Whack, you got to think. Whack don't drink. Whack don't smoke. That's just Whack. You know, and he knows how to really get. Every time he gets online, I'm gonna tell you the people that got the internet by the chokehold. Okay, nigga wise, I'm talking about. Whack.
Who?
They got the internet by the chokehold. Is Whack.
6ix9ine,
Charleston.
Adam 22.
Yep, Adam 22. Vlad, of course. You know, and
Vlad, yeah.
You know, and now, shout out to the brothers that used to be. Shout out to the brothers that used to be in that used to be on the jumper that left it that left the no jumper.
AD and they got back on Fig and Community. Yeah, them guys left. They left AD. They left Adam. Adam really played himself on that. This is true.
Here's the thing, man. It's not like they didn't know. That's what I have to say about Negroes. Like, and you.
What, the pedophile stuff or the racial stuff?
What pedophile stuff?
The pedophile stuff was really the last. I mean, it all hit Adam in 1 week. The pedophile stuff. So you know, like how they have those predator busters that be on YouTube.
Right.
And then they'll creep up on somebody.
Yeah.
So they were interviewing one of them on Adam on No Jumper. So as they're interviewing him, and this is a brother too. I've seen this guy before. He's real good. So they're interviewing him, and he goes, You know what? I had to be real though. If I'm gonna be talking about people, he's like, Adam, you got a case.
Oh, damn.
Adam got dumbfounded. He's like, what are you talking about? He's like, what are you talking about? He's like, didn't you, wasn't you trying to hook up with a 16-year-old girl? And he's like, oh, I thought she was 19. And then they got to go back and forth for a little bit. And then Adam kicks him off. And Adam never airs that show, but the dude the whole time has his cell phone out. So he's recording it. You know what I mean? So he had his cell phone out. This is at the same time. So why they left was, there's a guy named Lush. I don't know if you know Lush 1 from the battle rap stuff.
No.
Yeah, but they got this guy named Lush 1. He was involved with, he's like an MC for the battle rap stuff. He's a member of No Jumper. So him and Adam, they're both race soldiers. Adam got to tell them what everybody was making and who he's gonna cut next and who he's tired of. So that white boy went on the Discord and he told everybody. He said, yeah, this is what everybody's making and this is who Adam's tired of and this and that. And one of them was AD.
One of the main niggas.
Yeah, he said, I'm tired of AD. I'm finna kick him off the Monday show. I'm tired of hearing the same 4 jokes every week. And I'm finna just kick him off and let him do his little food show and that's it. So he thought he was telling Adam 22 thought he was telling Lush this in confidence. So he fired Lush on air after it came out. So when that came out, AD felt a certain way and said, I ain't fucking with dude no more. T-Rail being another, I think they're Crips, right?
Yeah, AD's from Compton.
They're Blood.
No, they're Crips.
They're Crips? Yeah.
AD's from Compton Crip, and T-Rail's from 5-2 Hoover.
Yeah, Hoover. Yeah. So what happened is T-Rail just said, "You my guy. You leave. I'm going with you." Fuck it, because he never said nothing bad about T-Rail.
Right.
Yeah. So all that hit Adam in 1 week, because now a whole nother bitch is coming out saying Adam fucked with her when she was 14.
Damn, man.
Yeah. So like it all kind of hit him all at once. You know what I mean? But with 6ix9ine, the new thing with 6ix9ine is now DJ Academics saying nobody can get a hold of him. Well, he could just be hanging out, you know.
Yeah.
See, DJ Act, this is where he loses credibility with me, because he's very well informed. Whether I don't really agree with him too much, you know, but he's a very well informed individual. But see, a situation like this, if you go on YouTube right now and you type in 6ix9ine, it's going to come up with a live feed from DJ Academics saying 6ix9ine is still missing. No one can get a hold of him. Emergency. What that is 6ix9ine telling him to put that headline, because this is going to make me more popular.
Right. Yeah.
See, that's where Act loses credibility with me.
Well,
a whole lot of credibility.
Think about it. Act is pretty much, you got to look at it like this. I'm not gonna say the name, but you and I both know Ack is like that nigga. He's somebody, he didn't rat on nobody, but he's like, imagine Vlad imagine a black Vlad. You see what I'm saying? He's probably really not from the streets. He's probably really not from the culture. He really don't give a damn about it. And then here's another reason why. It shouldn't matter, but it does. Academics ain't a foundational. So he's looking at the music as a tether. He's coming over looking at it from a standpoint like, I'm not even really a guest, because I'm looking at you like you a black man, but you're so fucking lame. It's like you're a guest. You know, I look at him like Vlad almost. But the thing is he made his bones. I'm going to tell you how he made a lot of his bones. When a lot of brothers was getting their wigs knocked off in that Chicago ops beef and stuff like that, he was one of the main people kicking shit off. I remember Neighborhood Nip had something to say about him for doing lame shit.
He would make fun of him. He had a YouTube channel or whatever called the War on Chirac, and he would just make commentary over these niggas getting shot and shit. He'd make funny commentary over it.
I want to play something real quick here. Let me see if I could.
On experience we experience, y'all don't understand what motivate the decisions.
Okay, let me see.
Look past, like, damn, how long people been in America on record? And so interviews for the first. Once we sign a deal, we got a mutual interest, a fun.
You sweep us up and say, hey.
Everybody familiar with WeWork? So that's the incubator part that I was very vocal about.
I'm trying to find the one
in the
with
interview, man.
We're talking about academics.
I don't mean we agree with it.
Absolutely.
And we know that the impact these developments like Inglewood. I got a homeboy that he owned a.
Hold on. That's Tariq. Tariq in neighborhood was real tight. So let me see what he. Okay, yeah. Hold on, because he was talking about academic. He went to Chicago and he was talking about him. Where he had mentioned some stuff about him. He called him out early. Hold on. Here it goes. This is it.
Do you think the internet has enabled little sucker shit? You know, from a
Yeah, of course. I think, and that's why I said in the interview, man, I ain't saying I'm gonna do nothing to act. I say you gotta let clowns be clowns and let dudes self-destruct, because, you know, I've been paying attention to his message. And I ain't like it, but I respect how you eat, bro. Whatever you do to pay your bills, I can't knock you. But after a while, you becoming. You getting out of control. You know what I'm saying? And then you got companies that add gas to them sparks.
Yes, indeed.
For their own interests.
Yes,
and then they sell advertising space. And I don't like that shit. I'm clear on what that motto is. You playing with niggas. You cooning, like you said.
Yeah.
You know, you taking something that's serious and that, you know, people doing with integrity, and you spending it for some fuck shit.
Yeah.
And I don't agree with that.
Do you think the internet?
Yeah, and the neighborhood called out Axe Cooning for a long time. He's been calling Axe Cooning out for a long time. And the thing is you know, so I think at this point, you know, Ack and all these characters and stuff like that, man, you know, we can't expect much. Like, you know, we really can't expect much from them. We have to look at it from a standpoint, like he said, just let clowns be clowns, let them fizzle out. I did want to go on to this next article, and then I want to bring up that topic we had before about the trajectory of Snoop with No Limit, which was very interesting. I don't think Master P gets enough credit for that. Now, there's an article called The Defender, and YouTube is fair use. YouTube has been trying to take down anything I say about the you know what, when I clearly have documented it over the past couple years and the truth has come out. Well, in a majority ruling, federal appeals court again blocks Jim Crow Joe's you know what mandate for federal workers. A federal appeals court on Thursday blocked Biden's executive order mandating federal workers nationwide get the you-know-what, and a majority ruling say that the president does not have the authority to mandate the you-know-what. So, this was a decision by the 5th U.S. Court of Appeals. I'm just going to say the damn name. Fuck it. They take my shit down, I'll make a new damn channel. Anyway, Court of Appeals in New Orleans reverses an April 22 ruling by a 3-judge panel for the same court which upheld the federal mandate. Thursday's decision keeps a preliminary injunction issued in January 22 by a Texas judge in place where the case is litigated. The decision was made in a en banc hearing, meaning the full 16-judge court ruled on the case rather than a panel of judges selected from the bench. A 10-judge majority ruled to uphold the injunction. Now, Feds for Medical Freedom, the plaintiffs in the case said in a press statement, our members have always argued that federal law does not permit the federal government to force federal workers or any law-abiding citizen to inject their bodies with something against their will. It was incredibly vindicating to hear the court echo those arguments and to draw clear limits around federal authority as it relates to forced vaccinations and medical freedoms. So as I said before, now they're saying the executive order was contentious from the start. Jim Crow Joe introduced Executive Order 14043 in September 2021, requiring more than 3.5 million federal executive branch workers to undergo the vaccination unless they secured approved medical or religious exemptions. Now, here's the thing. Your doctor can just say you can't get an exemption. And religious exemptions, you might bring a religious exemption, and then the employer just says, well, we don't want to, because of our own personal work environment or whatever, we don't want that. Now we find out the obvious. Whistleblowers. Now the CDC, let me see. I believe that they're under investigation. Let me see if they're trying to keep it quiet, bro. They're trying to keep it quiet. CD investigation. It's not working. It's not working very well. Now, the last thing I see in here, like you go to Google and you can't even find it. They're doing this on purpose. And for y'all, everybody on the podcast tonight listening, understand that Google and a lot of these places, YouTube, a lot of times they'll crunch these numbers. They'll crunch where you can't search stuff, even when the mainstream media reports some of the articles. CDC and FDA identify preliminary vaccine safety signals for people 65 and older.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's from January. But as the stuff that I sent you, I just sent you something the other day. So they're crunching it where you can't put it out. And they've been doing this to my channel.
Content.
They're suppressing content. Now, if that's not a violation of the Constitution, I don't know what is.
Exactly. And they're picking and choosing what to suppress.
Oh man, they're not saying nothing. This is from January all the way. You're not seeing anything recent. Google and YouTube, one of the same. This is a violation of constitutional rights. I'll move on. One thing I did want to talk about, we were talking about this the other day, and you were like, man, I didn't know that Snoop had all those albums. Now, when they was on Death Row, there was millions and millions of records sold. And you mentioned Suge Knight earlier. But, when Snoop had that murder trial, Suge probably told him, look, man, we didn't spend all this money on you. That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
Because remember in 93, he was charged with first-degree murder.
Mm-hmm. Killed the Eritrean kid.
Philip Wada Merriam, a member of a rival gang who was actually killed by Snoop's bodyguard. He was acquitted in 96, so he must have... So then they released Murder Was a Case, soundtrack. And then it looks like in 95, he went ahead and started Doggy Style Records. Okay, let's see here. Oh, which was a subsidiary of Death Row. Oh, okay, so it was still under Suge. It says, after his acquittal, Snoop and the mother of his son, along with their kennel of 20 pit bulls, moved into a 5,000 square foot home in the hills of Claremont, California. And by August 96, Doggy Style Records, a subsidiary of Death Row, signed the Gap band Charlie Wilson as one of its first artists. I didn't know that. And then in November 96, Dogfather, that was released. I'm going to be honest, I don't even know what was on that damn album, bro. I really don't.
Eastsiders.
The Dogfather of 1996? What was on that album? You said the Eastsiders? That came way later. I think the Eastsiders, that was a great album. Man, that was a good album. With Battle Cat on the Beach, that was a good-ass album, bro. But I think when he went with P, that's when P kind of saved that man's career, bro. Because look,
that's more than that.
Look, The Dogfather came out in 96. P got him in 98. So he left Death Row in early 98. And in August 4th, he released Snoop Dogg, The Game Is to Be Sold, To Be Told.
The game is to be sold, not told.
The game is to be sold, not to be told. Now remember, and that sold that went gold its first week.
Damn, that's a lot.
It went gold its first week. Yeah. It was on the top 10 for 5 weeks and was double platinum by August 22nd, 1998. Fucking with P. P understood. See, P wasn't going to do that dumb shit. And I'm going to give Suge credit for credit due. Suge didn't know how to cut that shit off. Suge, man, you had one of the biggest black labels damn near of all time, man. In the height of gangster rap.
Oh yeah, MVP lineup.
And nigga, you ruined it. Suge ain't supposed to be in prison. I don't like seeing that shit, bro. Nigga, you ain't supposed to be in prison. Nigga, you supposed to be living with your grandkids, sitting up here, opening other black businesses. Death Row is still supposed to be on the march. Now, I think Snoop bought some of that, which was pretty smart.
I think Snoop bought all of Death Row.
I think he owns. I don't think he owns all of it, but shit,
the name
might as well. I mean, who else would be better? Think about it. Who else would it be a better fit for?
Nobody.
You know, Dre probably didn't want shit to do with it. Dre, and then who came next? Snoop, right? And then Pac. Pac came after Snoop, right?
Yeah.
Right. So I mean, that's to be able to own that and pass that down to your kids. I mean, people gonna continue to listen to Pac albums. They're gonna listen to Snoop albums and Dog Pound. But yeah, man. That record sold. That record was double platinum by October 22nd, 98, and it was released in August.
Master P really cleaned his career up.
Yeah, man. I mean, he really got him. I mean, it went platinum in Canada. It went silver in the UK. That's 60,000 records. But like, you know, silver in the UK is big. Platinum in Canada is big as hell because it's not as many people. So I mean, man. And then okay, let's look at the next album because like you're a numbers guy. Okay, Top Dog. Top Dog, that was released in May 11, 99. That was on No Limit and Priority. 187,000 its first week. Pretty damn good. Second only to Ricky Martin's second album, self-titled album. That album, let's see here. That album went platinum as well. So it sold 2 million records worldwide. DJ Quick on the beats. Ant Banks. Ant Banks was the dope producer. I think he did a lot of Too Short shit. Oakland, California.
What's his highest grossing album, Snoop's?
Let's see here. It probably was Doggy Style, but let's see. Okay, The Last Meal. That was 2000. That was the final. Okay, so that was the final. The Last Meal was the final album from No Limit. Oh, that's where that Lay Low was on. That Lay Low was dope.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah. So that one went double platinum. As of March 2008, the album sold 2 million copies in the United States, making the third best-selling album from Snoop Dogg in the country behind Doggy Style and The Game Is to Be Sold, Not to Be Told. So it looked like Doggy Style when he went to No Limit. That's the second album, and then this one, The Last Meal. And Nate Dogg set that one out. Paid the Cost to Be the Boss. He wasn't on No Limit with that, but that sold 170,000 copies his first week. Certified platinum, 1.5 million worldwide. Okay, From the Church to the Palace, Pharrell, Neptune. So Neptunes came and got him right. Yeah,
right.
Yeah,
Neptune.
Neptunes
That's
came
when
and got him
Pharrell
right.
first came.
Because the first Neptune song I heard was Khalees and Nori. Nori put the Neptunes on. I mean, like, that was one of their main hits. That what, you know?
Yeah, that was.
That was the first one I heard, was Nori. That was their first hit.
That was the Neptune's first hit, too. They even, he gave him a shout out on that song.
Let me see. Hold on. Let me look up the Neptunes. Because, I mean, they had an interesting... The Neptunes had a... Okay, what was their first hit? All right, let's see here. Okay, they got Grammys. Okay. Neptune's production discography. Okay. So, all right, so they had a couple hits with Total, smaller hits. 98, they did something with Mace and Puff Daddy on Harlem World. But the first thing that I really heard them from was Nori. And then
me too.
And then Get Your Money with ODB. Yeah, so they did that Looking at Me with Mason P. Diddy. That went gold. But I'm gonna be honest, I don't even know what that shit sounds like. But that Nori, that what, that was my shit. Yeah, that right there was a quintessential Neptunes. And then that Get Your Money with ODB. Oh no. Let's see here. Mystical Shake Your Ass, Watch Yourself. That was a hit. Girls Them Sugar with Beanie Man. I remember that. Danger with Navia. I remember that. I'm Serious with T.I. I remember that one too. Let's see here. Knock Yourself Out with Jadakiss. I remember that. Holla Back Youngin' with Fabulous. I remember that one. You Don't Have to Call Usher. That was a big one. Hot in Here. Nelly. That was the real big one.
Oh, yeah, that went.
Yeah.
That went to another level.
Yeah, Grinding with Clips. Grinding. That was a shit. Work It Out, Beyonce. Okay. When the Last Time, Clips. Man, the Clips, they don't get their credit. When you think about trap music, even, you know what I'm saying, like trap, like the Clips, man, look, they were the best to do that cocaine music before T.I. got real big. They always give it to Jeezy and T.I. and Gucci Man. Nah, man. The Clips was the first dudes to really make that cocaine music sound good with bars. And then, you know, and they from Virginia, you know what I'm saying? So they ain't too far from Atlanta, I don't think. But those were the first people. Okay, Excuse Me, Miss, What's Your Name? That was Jay-Z. Oh, Beautiful. That had a dope-ass beat. Do you remember that?
I remember that too.
Yeah, that was a good one. Beautiful. That shit was.
Yeah, I remember that.
That was the shit. Let me see here. Yeah, that shit was really dope. Who made? Okay, so I know that was Neptunes. Damn, that man, that really hit. Australia, Belgium, Denmark, that hit everywhere. Yeah, that was a dope ass fucking beat. Hot Damn, Frontin', Senorita Milkshake, Change clothes and go. Yep. Like a Boss, Slim Thug. Drop It Like It's Hot. That was a big one.
Drop It Like It's Hot.
Holla Back Girl, Gwen Stefani. That was big. That was really big. Signs with Snoop Dogg, Charlie Wilson, Justin Timberlake. That was pretty big. Moneymaker with Ludacris. Wind Up, Gwen Stefani.
That was huge.
Madonna. They did something for Madonna. Gotta Have
And then
It.
Pharrell had his own hits too.
Yeah,
as a solo artist, right?
Yep, that Happy was real big. Gotta Have It with Kanye West and Jay-Z. Watch the Throne. That went platinum. And then, they released a couple albums off the Nerd album. They doing their own thing. Yeah, man. I mean, shit. Snoop has had some hits. 213. That was a good album.
Yeah. 213.
Yeah, the 213 with Warren G and Nate Dogg. That was a good group. They had some let me see. They only released one album. I think I did buy that album. When that come out? That came out in 2004? Damn. I think I did
I'm
have
sure
that
you
album.
cut that a lot.
Yeah, I think I did have that album, man. Yeah. I'll go to the next topic. But anyway, yeah, nah, man. Master P. Let me go to this. I want you to hear this. This is very positive.
A Minneapolis dad is behind a new store at the Mall of America.
The clothing brand Honor Roll Athletics is focused on supporting youth in North Minneapolis. Heidi Wigdahl shows us how in this week's Behind the Business.
Inside the Mall of America, Honor Roll Athletics is making a statement that goes beyond fashion.
Focusing on academic excellence, as well as athleticism. So making, a fashion statement out of, academic excellence.
Charles Kane says the business was born out of his organization, Brothers Empowered, and its youth empowerment initiative.
We mentor youth boys based out of North Minneapolis. We were at a fundraiser, and we came up with a concept of how to build something that they can learn economic development, they can also fundraise, and it can create job opportunities for them.
Teens help with everything from designing the clothes to selling them.
A lot of the kids that came in first, we asked them, like, what do you want to do with your life? What do you have planned for your future? They'll just shrug their shoulders. I don't know. Now they're wanting to be entrepreneurs and business owners and community leaders.
Honor Roll Athletics started in 2021, first in shared spaces, including one at MOA, then opened their own storefront in March.
It's just a testament to the boys that they could do anything that they put their mind to.
It shows that someone is paying attention to the importance of, children growing up, especially young men. So it kind of touched me in a certain area.
10% of the proceeds from the store goes back to youth development in North Minneapolis.
It's been amazing because I was one of those troubled kids. So to be in this position is, very humbling and so surreal. Years later, to be able to impact the lives of these young people so they don't have to go through the journey that I went through.
A purpose that never goes out of style.
You have a great rest of your day.
Heidi Wigdahl, KARE 11 News.
Through May 1st, they're offering 10% off anything in the store for all students, educators, and coaches. You can find Honor Roll Athletics on the 3rd floor of MOA near the North Food Court.
That was a very on-code message. Now, what I wanted to say about that, I wanted to play that. I happened to see that on a website. I believe it was on the news websites and stuff like that I was looking at. And, I remember a time when we used to go to the Mall of America and you barely see any black-owned stores. But now, because the Mall of America damn near went to hell, they're letting the foundationals in. Like, oh, okay, we having shootouts and this, that, and the third. Okay, let's let some black folks come in. And the same thing with Uptown. But, like, that was a very, very constructive message. And it was a point I was getting ready to make. I forgot what it was. It was a very important point. But I kind of lost my train of thought because I was just looking at the clothes. The clothes look really nice. A lot of times what people will say is, well, black-owned businesses, they don't have this. Black-owned businesses, they don't have that. But, I remember my point. I remember exactly what my point is, bro. When you said, well, black folks got to start spending with black folk. Now, when we said earlier, Other races of people, they support each other, as they should, right? Now, what a lot of black folks have tried to adopt is the misconception, which does not work, where they say, well, we're going to stop spending with other people and just not spend, and that's it. That's inconsequential. You have to take that money that you were going to spend with that you were going to stop spending with other people, and you got to spend it with black folk. It can't just be you just withdraw it. You go ahead. You was going to say something?
No, I was just agreeing with you.
Yeah, you have to spend that money. So if we say, well, I'm not going to spend with Billy Bob, or I'm not going to spend with this, or I'm not going to spend with these. I'm not going to spend money with people that disrespect black folk as a group. If you say that, okay, yeah, all right, I'm not going to go to this store. I'm not going to go to Cup Foods, or I'm not going to go here, or I'm not going to go to whatever these places in that a person might deem to be, and I'm not just, it doesn't necessarily have to be a black-owned business, but how do they hire black employees? How do they treat black people? When you, because you've seen this as well as I have, bro. You've been to restaurants and you've been to businesses where you're a black customer and they have black folks working there, but they treat them niggas like it's a plantation. And you're like, hold on, why are you talking to them like that? You feel a certain way.
Exactly.
Yeah. See, you asked it, black employees, man, I pull them to the side. Hey, bro, how they treat you here, bro? Man, everything good. I'm being treated well. You know what I'm saying? Like, I get a promotion. I got a plan. You know what I'm saying? I get my 401k. I got my scholarship thing together. I'm about to start my own shit, bro. No, everything's okay. And overwhelming, most of the staff is like, okay, I'm good. Cool. So, yeah, it's not a black-owned business, but they don't run it like a damn plantation.
Exactly.
You pointed something out earlier to me that I thought that was a notable statement. You said you go into a lot of these other places and they ain't got no foundationals working there. But we shop there. That's Jim Crow. That's Dred. To me, that's Dred Scott stuff. That's Dred Scott. The hell with the Jim Crow thing. It's going worse than that. It's Dred Scott. That's Dred Scott treatment. We could spend with you, but you don't want to see our faces walking around with your uniform.
No, you don't want nothing to do with us. You just want our money.
Hurry up and buy. No. And we ain't missing nothing.
It defeats the purpose. If I'm trying to make money, if I'm trying to make money off of black people, why am I hiring black people? I'd be breaking even. My goal is to exploit black people and get rich off of them. How am I employing them? I just, so if I open a business and I just want to be like these Asians and just get all this black money, if I turn around and employ blacks, I'm not profiting from them anymore.
Now I see. We used to go to this, what they call a salon store. It was some Asians that own it on the east side. You probably you might have seen. I don't know if you've been on the east side that much, but on West 7th. Now they'll have black people working there from time to time. When we used to go there, I'll be honest, I didn't feel like it was a hurry up and buy something. Now, of course, they got the brothers, and that was smart. They got the brothers working there because when we walk in, you got to think, when you're a black person and you see another black person, you feel a little more comfortable.
Yeah,
especially if you know
like this is a place I want to spend money.
Especially if you don't know, especially if you know that they ain't a coon. You like, okay, brother, because they could pull you, hey, brother, you need help with this or whatever. They gonna make you feel comfortable. So yeah, that's a strategic point. But at the same time, I said, well, I don't know what their business dealings is, and it's not really none of my business, as long as that brother's good. But if you're hiring black people from the neighborhood, then that shows what that tells me is you maybe one of two things: either you're comfortable being around us, or you don't mind breaking some bread. And I'm like, all right, cool. But when you start talking about this China Mac shit, talking about some duck sauce and some old, well, people don't want to pay for no hair lashes or this, that, or whatever, no eyelash or whatever the case may be. Well, now you ain't just saying a few isolated incidents. You're saying that your customer base is doing that. And if that's true, if that's true, then I would beg to cite this very statement. I would beg to, if that's true, then I would beg to cite this very statement. Because remember, when the pandemic started and you had a lot of white supremacists that were running around talking about, well, the COVID comes from Asian people and this, that, and the third. Remember they were saying that? Mm-hmm. And Asians was talking about, oh, we getting our ass kicked and this, that, and the third. They try to blame black people at first. But then you had a bunch of coon niggas running out talking about, well, we need to keep on supporting their businesses, this, that, and the third. And black folks start pointing it out like, wait a minute. You got sisters that's coming up in there getting beat on. Ain't nobody saying nothing about that. You see what I'm saying? And it was a lot of black people. It was black leaders, Al Sharpton. It was a gang of black folks that, you know, unbeknownst to us, we like, okay, whatever. These niggas gonna do what they do. That was speaking out saying, well, no, there was a lot of Asian businesses suffering. And there was a lot of black folks putting the cape on for these niggas. They never did that with us. Even when their businesses started kind of falling through the pandemic, you had black folks, even if they was coons, that was stepping up to the plate saying, hey, continue to keep breaking bread with them, when they should have been pointing them to black folks. So, again, if China Mac's going to use that excuse, if he's going to turn around and say, well, niggas just want some duck sauce and niggas don't pay, no, we been spending money with you motherfuckers, and you don't deserve it. That's the bottom line. So that's just me clearing the smoke on that. He can't use that excuse. So it wasn't just, well, I'm mad at Charleston White. Okay, you say fuck Charleston White if you got an issue. That wasn't what it was about. What it was about is Charleston baited him into his feelings about what he really felt about us. And so now what we have to say is, wait a minute, hey, AD, all you ex-no-jumper niggas, what's happening? You sitting with this nigga. It's the same thing with, like you mentioned about Adam 22, where you said that with the pedophile allegations, he had some race soldiers. He had one of the most arch nemesis race soldiers on his platform. And he was agreeing with him.
Oh, he was?
Yeah. Let me play like a lot of the stuff from the new black media that I be sending you. Let me play what he had to say. I just want you to hear this. Bro. If Adam wanted me to come on his show, I don't think I would go. But if he wanted me to come on his show, I'd call him out on that. Hey man, you've been hanging around Nick. And see, here's the thing. It's not even just Adam, bro. All them niggas that was on No Jumper, y'all knew that nigga was like that. Ain't no way you can't. You gotta let's keep it real, bro. All the white buddies you may have had, or some of the white homies that you may have had, or people like that, you've heard them say something at some point where you were like, hey, okay, nigga, you might be a race soldier. I'm gonna fuck you over. Yeah, I'm gonna get over on your ass. I mean, you told me the story. Like, yeah, nigga, I'm about to get over on your ass.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna get over on you because here we go. Hold on, let me see. Hold on. Now this is a channel you need to subscribe to. This is Jason Black of The Business. That's where, like, you know, you heard a lot of these red pill. Have you ever heard of the MGTOW people and the red pill, blue pill, all them, the black winosphere and all them niggas?
What is it, a YouTube channel?
Like the YouTube channels, you know, the Kevin Samuels, they stole all they shit from this nigga. This is the source.
What is it called? Black and Fit or something like that?
Fresh and Fit, them coon ass
Fresh
niggas.
And Fit, yeah.
Fresh and Fit. Them are some other coon ass niggas. Them are Sambos. They caught one of them niggas in bed with a dude. They did legitimized. They get buck and tough with the women on the show, and then when they get called out, like this one Haitian brother called one of them niggas out. I guess he said something slick about his wife, called the nigga out for a fade. Them niggas wouldn't take the fade. They start apologizing and doing that old "we are the world" bullshit. Them niggas lame as hell, fam. But listen to this.
Very.
Hella lame. Now, I'm just going to play a little bit. YouTube, fair use. There was a group of Sambos under YouTube that was following behind a lot of the white YouTubers for like dating relationships and stuff like this. And the brother, Jason Black, called them niggas out like, look, y'all been following behind. It's some little average looking white chick that got a lot of views now. And then they were talking about Adam 22 as well, where Adam was pretty much telling Richard Spencer, you know who Richard Spencer is. He was a Charlottesville dude.
Yeah.
Remember Charlottesville? He was the one that kicked all that off.
I remember.
Yeah. He called up Tariq not long ago on one of the broadcasts and stuff like that. He was a real he's the alt-right king. Adam had him on his stage. Now if you notice, now you have whoever you want, you interview whoever you want. I ain't got no issue with that. But he was agreeing with him, with his points, with his talking points. You see what I'm saying?
Wow.
Yeah. Listen to this. I want you to listen to this.
What?
Let's see here. Here it goes.
Or thing. I'm gonna play a audio clip here from Adam himself and something that Adam had to say. And for all of you Negro bootlicks who've been kissing his ass all these years, giving him a pass, ignoring what was so obviously, blatantly a low-key suspected white supremacist in your midst the whole damn time, falling for the yo-yo-yo. For all of you who've been on this program, been avid listeners, retweeting, reposting, why don't you go ahead and try to explain away this?
Blackness and shit, and it starts to feel like really segregated and weird. Like,
when I was reading through the Southern Poverty Law Center thing about Richard last night, which I can kind of assume probably hasn't been updated since like approximately 2016 because they left out some newer stuff, but I'm reading it and it's like almost every quote that I'm seeing from you talking about your white identity or whatever is something that sounds eerily familiar to something I've heard black people say in relatively mainstream circles in the last couple of years. So I don't.
Did you hear that?
Yeah.
He said. I'm comparing black folks with race soldiers.
Right.
Now listen to this.
I don't know if maybe those statements seemed a little bit different in 2016, but viewed from today's light, it really a large percentage of them didn't really seem all that shocking to me.
Now, people, for those of you who are new here and you don't really know who Jason Black is, among other things, I'm a documentary filmmaker. And I spoke to Richard Spencer in 2016, a few months after the Charlottesville race riots. I interviewed him. It took a lot of doing, but I got a face-to-face, one-on-one interview with him. Richard Spencer is not somebody I talk about. He's somebody I have talked to for an extensive period of time. So I have no reason to sit up here and mischaracterize what it is. He was as advertised. If anything, he was very eager to make it clear that he was not being taken out of context anywhere that you've heard him say something. So when Adam sits up here and tells you, well, I was at the Southern Poverty Law Center website and I saw what they were quoting about you, and they must not have updated it in a few years because it didn't seem to be that incendiary to me. Well, you know what? This is what you can find on the Southern Poverty Law Center website.
Now, you need to, everybody here on this channel, y'all need to go get that Gentrified and that 7 a.m. That 7 a.m. documentary kind of brought Dr. Claude Anderson back on the light. We're going to play some audio about him in a minute because we're going to get on this reparations thing. Many years ago, you remember when we would be in class and I used to always, or I'd be on the bus and I'd be making little jokes. I couldn't articulate it very well, but I'd say you remember what I used to always say? I want my 40 acres and a mule. And we kind of laugh about it a little bit, you know, when Osborne would be on there, on the bus and stuff. We kind of laugh and shit like, but I was for real about that shit, bro. I didn't understand it, but I wanted my fucking 40 acres, bro. Because it was owed to me. I knew that we were supposed to have it. I wanted it. I didn't know nothing about the 1866 Indian Treaty laws. I didn't know anything about the Dawes Act. I didn't know anything about the Freedmen's Bank. I had no clue. But 40 acres was on my mind. 40 acres was on my damn mind. And remember,
as it should be.
I told you when I used to write that when I wrote that report about reparations, and the teacher failed me. He didn't even read it. He flat out just told me, like, nigga, I'm gonna fail your ass. And I'm like,
right. I'm just gonna fail you out for GPs. I don't like you even talking about that.
He told me flat out. I don't know. I kind of went over the top because I was overly passionate about it too, fam. Like I had something in the, okay, you know, at the very top of the notebook where it's maybe like about an inch where you have the red line, or was it the blue line? I think it was the red line all the way across the paper. So it gives you enough room to like write your name and your student ID or your class and the date and all that kind of stuff. I put it in parentheses. I said, this is the absolute truth. And I was just kind of going overly, you know, overly as hell about it, bro. You know, but I wrote a scathing ass 2-page report, fam, about reparations. He said, oh, you need to take that off. He said, you need to take that off. You need to get rid of that. And I'm just like, whoa. He didn't even read it, bro. He didn't even read it. He did not even.
Disgusted by it.
Oh, he was disgusted. And it was this fat, man, you probably knew who this chick was. I'm going to go ahead and say, I don't remember her name, but she was kind of a little wide back, she was a $5 Indian. She looked like a white girl, but she wasn't. She was one of these little $5 Indians that thought she was white. Kind of, it was, okay, the class was on the 3rd floor. It was a small class, and it was a little oval egghead white dude that had like a ponytail, didn't really smile too much. It was like a history class. It was on the 3rd floor. It was a small class, and it had windows. Because you remember 3rd floor, had windows. None of the South High didn't have no windows really all like that, but the 3rd floor had windows. So this chick, she had a little weasel. She had like a weasel eyes, little beady weasel eyes, and she told me one time, she read my reparations report. She was looking at it. She was like, oh, you know, you're I don't know. She had this little feminist. She was like a little liberal race soldier feminist vibe or something like that. And she was looking at the report, fam. She was like, oh, I'm Indian. You know, I didn't get no reparations or some shit. And I'm like, and I looked at her. I didn't tell her she was an Indian, but I was confused, bro, because I didn't know what a $5 Indian was at that point. You know, I mean, she said she's Indian, and I'm like, nigga, you white. Like, you're not Indian. You ain't, you know, because I'm used to white. When I hear Indian, I might think of like Buffalo or some shit, or I think about what's the native projects right over there with White Earth or Little Earth. I think about Little Earth. That's what when I think about a native, bro, I think about Little Earth. I think about a motherfucker that came up on some government cheese that was out there selling weed and gangbanging over on Cedar Avenue or some shit. I don't know what the hell she looked like she ain't never been over to Little Earth. You know, I used to go over there when I was younger a little bit sometimes, fam.
Yeah.
Sometimes I used to go over there. Yeah, sometimes I used to go over there, bro. I think they got this.
I usually leave it alone.
Huh?
I usually left it alone. I never really went over there.
Yeah, I went over there a couple times. I was with there. Some dude brought me over there. This brother brought me over there. I think he stayed over there a little bit. But I didn't know a lot of brothers that stayed over there. I don't know. Like, I kind of felt outnumbered when I went. You know, he wanted me to go over there and kick it with him. And I went one time, and I was like, I think I went a couple times with him. And I was like, man, I don't know about this shit, bro. But, she didn't seem... It was just hella confusing, bro. I was like, man, she just don't seem like she was over there like that. You know what I'm saying? Or she don't seem cultural. She don't seem like the type that would have been around somebody that was Native. So she says, yeah, I'm Native American. And I'm just like, what? So I said, man, what you think about this reparations paper? So she was kind of down with the teacher. She said, you blacks don't need no damn money. You got welfare. I said, what the fuck?
Damn.
She said, you niggas got... She pulled the Mitch McConnell like, man, ask Obama. Because this was before we knew anything about politics. We didn't know shit about politics. You remember South High? We didn't even know what a Democrat or Republican was, bro. And we was in high school.
Right.
You ever notice that? We never really talked about that. Like, we didn't give a fuck. We just, we operated off of, okay, are you my friend? Can I trust you? You want to smoke? Find a little thought, you don't want to hit. Like, things was basic. You know what I'm saying? Like, we really didn't think about, politics and shit like that. We used to think that shit was funny, But now, I'm going to keep playing it. But this, I've seen this before. Richard Spencer's on the ADL. They named all the hate groups. They got Farrakhan on there. They got Rizza Islam, Black Israelites. They got, it's interesting on how they got the black folks. And, they might have had a couple chosen black people that might have said something in which they call so-called derogatory towards Jewish folks. So they named them down there. And they compare them to the white supremacists that have actually killed a bunch of motherfuckers. You see what I'm saying? So he goes on that website in regard to talking about Mr. Spencer. And mind you, Adam done already said on the website there's nothing wrong with it. So I'm going to let you hear it for yourself and see what you think.
When you go to Richard Bertrand Spencer. Now, why don't we go over some of the quotes that Adam read? Because remember, he said, I read quotes on the Southern Poverty Law Center website. Why don't I show you all the quotes he's referring to? We're going to read them one by one. In his own words, quote, we're going to be back here, and we're going to humiliate all of these people who opposed us. We'll be back here 1,000 times if necessary. I always win because I have the will to win. I keep going until I win. 2017, Unite the Right rally in Charlottesville. Islam, at its full flourishing, isn't some peaceful denomination like Methodism or religion or Buddhism. Islam is a black flag. It is an expansive, domineering ideology and one that is directed against Europe. In this way, Islam gives non-Europeans a fighting spirit and integrates them into something much greater than themselves. Please remember, in the world of white supremacy, Islam and Muslim are code words for black. Always.
Now you heard that, right?
Right.
Same thing for woke. If you ever hear a white person, especially a liberal, right wing too, same bird, when they say woke, they mean nigga.
Exactly.
They mean nigga. They don't mean, when they say woke, they mean black. Oh, that's woke and it's too woke and we need to stop the woke movement. They mean nigga. They're talking about you. That's exactly what they're talking about. I'll continue.
Have been. Next, speech at Texas A&M. A race is genetically coherent. A race is something you can study. A race is about genes and DNA, but it's not just about genes and DNA. The most important thing about it is the people and the spirit. That's what a race is about.
Now, you heard that, right?
Yeah.
Now, Adam 22's co-signing that, but there's something
That's
else
incredible.
I have to play, and I like to play this every couple months. Oh, no, we're going to get through it. We got some more topics to come. Oh, we got some more topics to come. Hold on.
Black, Dr. Key talked about it was black. You really think that, or Asian, or Native American. Right. How many white staff policy was in this? White women have
hiring white men.
All right, folks, back on 80, 90. 8 men. We got to make sure.
Them.
No.
Who had the family?
Well,
it's for most of Christian.
If you use world history, there were people who act
of world history.
Your Lord and Savior.
I mean, look. Yeah.
What the hell is that?
Oh, here we go.
First of all, identify as a man.
Oh, it is.
I don't use the term white nationalist. I like the term alt-right, first off, and I also like the term identitarian because it gets at what I am and what I believe.
And what is that?
Identity is at the heart of my ideology. So
you heard what he said?
Yeah.
Identity is at the heart of ideology. When you ask DP, hey DP, are you a black man? My answer is going to be yes. The next thing I'm going to say is, okay, well, where are you from? I'm foundational. What does that mean? Oh, well, my great-great-great-great-great-grandmother built this shit for free and wasn't paid. Now give me my damn money. That's the first thing. That's the first thing that comes to my mind. Genetically, spiritually. That comes to my mind right away. You see what I'm saying? So he said, let's go back to what he said.
Europe. In this way, Islam give non-Europeans a fighting spirit and integrates them into something much greater than themselves. Please remember, in the world of white supremacy, Islam and Muslim are code words for black. Always have been. Next, speech at Texas A&M. A race is genetically coherent. A race is something you can study. A race is about genes and DNA, but it's not just about genes and DNA. The most important thing about it is the people and the spirit. That's what a race is about.
He said that December 2016. Now he's on rolling, and what did he say?
Mainstream, not connected to the political fray. We now are. People are paying attention to us. People are looking at us, and so I actually say yes. We need to start maybe knock some of that stuff off. We need to think of ourselves as a mainstream movement that's going to reach people because we do have that power.
Okay, so are you white nationalists?
I don't use the term white nationalist. I like the term alt-right, first off, and I also like the term identitarian because it gets at what I am and what I believe.
And what is that?
Identity is at the heart of my ideology. So
and what's that identity?
Race is a foundation of that identity, undoubtedly.
Now race is simply a creation of mankind. That's a construct. It doesn't exist. I mean, bottom line is, no, I know who I am. First of all, I'm Roland Martin. I'm a man.
Okay.
I'm a man.
Do you identify as a black man?
Oh, first of all, I identify as a man. I'm Roland Martin.
You heard that?
Man.
Okay.
I'm a man.
Do you identify as a black man?
Oh, first of all, I identify as a man.
He would not say that he's a black man. He would not say that he's a black man. Let me play it again. He refused to say he was a black man.
No, I know who I am. First of all, I'm Roland Martin. I'm a man.
My ideology. So
what's that identity?
Race is a foundation of that identity, undoubtedly.
Now, race is simply a creation of mankind. That's a construct. It doesn't exist. I mean, bottom line is, no, I know who I am. First of all, I'm Roland Martin. I'm a man.
Okay.
I'm a man.
Do you identify as a black man?
Oh, first of all, I identify as a man.
Okay.
Identify as a man. No, actually, it's not sexist because if a person's a woman, identifies as a woman. Okay. So I'm a man. I'm a Christian. Mm-hmm. Are you a Christian?
I'm a cultural Christian, yeah.
What the hell is that?
Well, many of us struggle with faith, but I'm part of a Christian.
Hold on. You can't call yourself a cultural Christian and then say I struggle with faith. You profess that Jesus Christ is your Lord and Savior.
This nigga, let me tell you something, bro. This nigga he would not say. He says he's a Christian, he's a ham sandwich, he's a barbecue beef brisket, but he wouldn't say he's a black man. I just want my listeners to listen. We probably heard it 1,000 times. I brought this up for a reason. That's one of the things. And now think about this. If a white supremacist asks you, hey, Solomon, are you a black man? What's going to be your first response?
I'm Eritrean.
And if he says, let's say he says, but are you black?
Yeah.
You're not going to run away from it. You're not going to say, well, no, I'm not Eritrean. I'm an Eritrean American. You ain't going to say, no, I'm an Eritrean American. You're going to say, nigga,
he might have been. But he might have been a little, I don't know, Roland, he gets a little excited.
No. It wasn't about excitement. Because when he talks to black folks, he turns up. There's a reason why I played this. Now, this is your immigrant coon. This nigga has a Haitian background, so I guess there's a reason why I want to bring that up. He ain't got the foundational spirit. Now, he's posing as a foundational. He's sitting up there telling black folks all to vote for Biden, vote for the vaccine. First of all, he was talking about niggas ain't gonna get no reparations. Now, he's changing his tune. Now, this ain't no young dude. This is an older guy. There's a reason why I bring this up. But this is who Adams 22 had on. Now, when Adam 22 had him on, he got to say what he really meant. When Roland went on Richard Spencer, he bowed down. He didn't turn up. When Dr. Umar went on Roland's channel, he started turning up and puffing his chest out. When the race soldier went on his platform, he started kowtowing. Oh, I ain't black. I'm a Christian. I'm a man. Why didn't you keep that same energy?
Right.
This man's telling you that race is a core of my ideology and my identity. I'm a white supremacist. I'm white and I'm proud, as I should be. Are you proud to be a black man, Roland? Well, I'm a man and, I'm a Christian. No, that's not what I asked you, nigga. Are you a black man? You can't even see that. You sit a Negro in front of a white person and start asking them some questions, and you'll really start seeing where their blood matches. Sit that nigga in front of, how they do. You see it on the Young Thug case. Sit them in front of the homicide detective and see what them niggas say. Man, listen. Where's my lawyer? You from the streets. You supposed to know right off the jump. Ain't supposed to be no conversations, no statements. I want my lawyer.
Right, exactly. Take me to my cell.
Take me to my cell. That's why I told the sergeant down there on Lake Street, take me to my cell. Well, DP, we could give you, no, I don't want to hear nothing. Take me to my cell, sir. And they're looking like, okay, let me give you a business card. I don't want your business card. I threw that shit back at him.
Really?
And the sergeant's sitting up there. I'll tell you a little story. Well, I don't really want to get into, but basically he had a dream catcher, and I'm just looking at this shit like, okay, man, you a coon. You got a dream catcher? He wearing a little dream catcher around. You ain't no real native nigga. You work for the police. I don't. Yeah. I'm at a point right now where like, okay, yeah, it'd be like, well, you have a brother here and a brother there. Man, 9 times out of 10, if that nigga stays on the force, he's a coon. If he stays on the force and he's not a coon, he's gonna stay in the same position he's in. They, like you taught me this. They are not going to elevate a nigga that ain't a coon. They're not gonna do it. You're gonna stay at your position. Okay, have this nigga at the parking lot, get this nigga writing tickets, but he ain't gonna be no sergeant. He ain't gonna be no chief. Because you have to agree with hurting black people. Hurting black people, hurt some non-white people here and there. You know what I'm saying? You have to agree and be with the program. Like Muhammad Noor. Muhammad Noor was down. You had to run in with him yourself.
Oh yeah. They're very down. He was a loyal race soldier.
Till he shot that white woman. I mean, you can continue.
He fucked up and shot that white woman.
That doesn't seem to be very, very controversial. Jason, what's the big problem here? Oh, I don't know. Martin Luther King Jr., a fraud and degenerate in his life, has become the symbol and signature, look it up, of white dispossession and...
Now think about it. This dude, Adam 22, so-called ally of black folks, you got Richard on here, you're agreeing with everything that Richard says, and you disparaging Martin Luther King. Well, what part of the game is that? You told me Adam 22 was a race soldier a long time ago. You remember
I can tell. Look at him.
You told me this 6 months ago. I didn't see it at the time. I mean, one thing I thought that was a little weird was I thought when I see a white guy and he don't look like he comes from the culture, I'm like, man, this dude look like he played in Megadeth or some shit like that. And he got all these niggas around. He got these gangbanging ass niggas around, and I'm like,
he's a porn star.
He's a porn star. Okay, well,
yeah. So I think he just looked at it. He's a porn star. Then he looked at it like, I'm going to interview these rappers. I'm going to make money off this rap scene and LA gangster scene. But then I think once he brought that dude on, I think he was ready to pivot into something else. He did tell AD and them he wants to do news now. Like he wants to do just strictly news. So, I mean, shit. That's the same dude when AD was interviewing that guy. He told AD, he was like, there's no way they could have killed Ahmaud Arbery while he was jogging. Black people don't jog.
Who said that?
Same guy. Richard, the Richard dude.
Richard Spencer or Adam 22?
No, Richard, not Adam 22.
So Richard Spencer had made that statement on the No Jumper platform.
AD. AD's interviewing him.
AD interviewed Richard Spencer? Hold on. Wait a minute. Whoa. I didn't see that. Let me see.
Yeah, AD does a follow-up interview with him.
Okay. Destiny, Richard Spencer debate, race, religion, Andrew Tate, Joe Biden. What is this?
Back to this Richard Spencer nigga. Okay. I want to get the facts together because I got phone calls. A lot of people is upset about this shit, and I want to break it down to everybody. So
Whoa, Virginia! I read Charlotte, Virginia right now.
So let me read it.
Oh, go ahead.
Richard Bernard Spencer is an American neo-Nazi,
anti-Semitic
conspiracy theorist, and white supremacist. A former editor.
So hold on, man. Wait a minute. So, I find it very damn hard to believe that AD didn't have no clue, none.
Well, maybe it's another race soldier. Maybe it ain't Richard Spencer. It's because somebody sitting there. He told AD, he said, "Black people don't jog."
Okay. Well, I don't know, man. I mean, now there's that other chick, that the brother Jason Black, that was exposing the little dating coon network, the niggas that was riding behind this one chick. You probably didn't hear about the chick, but basically she got a bunch of immigrant coons working with her. She got some Nigerians, and she got a bunch of coons, a bunch of Sambos working with her. And she took the video down, but she went and started talking about, I want to get a bunch of immigrant blacks. In so many words, I know these niggas will just do what they're told. These niggas is coons. They do what I'm told. I don't want no foundationals. And she was talking to them like a fucking slave master. I mean, saying some slick shit. You Negroes are always late. You're never on time. I mean, she was going off. And these niggas was just accepting the shit. So Jason Black called it out and said, hey, all you Negroes that's on these YouTube dating advice platforms was on her platform kissing her ass. So y'all got some explaining to do. Kind of like how we're kind of covering the tracks right now. Like, okay, what are y'all niggas on? They say y'all got some explaining to do. So it kind of took the internet by storm. Like, wait a minute. Is this your man's? Y'all, you gonna co-sign this bullshit? You gonna co-sign this coonery? Y'all still gonna go behind this? And now niggas is looking real funny style. It's almost kind of like hanging around Cloud. You can't hang around that nigga. Even when we were, look, all right. Even when we were in high school, you remember after that nigga got robbed, he didn't even want to show his face. He popped up. He popped up after a little while. After, you know what I'm saying. So all that tough talk and stuff like that, and because, okay, remember when he broke his leg? That was after he got robbed, right?
Yeah.
he was still talking slick. Cuffs was on the second floor. Cuffs was on the second floor with me. Cuffs wasn't saying nothing. I think he may have hung. I think Cloud might hang with him for protection or some shit like that. But Cuffs wasn't really saying nothing. He was on the second floor and shit, right? And he had like a broke leg. And he was talking shit. And you know what I told his ass on the second floor, bro? I was getting a little popular around that time. You notice that, bro? I was getting a little fucking popular. And so he said some shit like, he was I don't know, he was talking shit. And I said, you know what? I said, real calm. And Cuffs was standing right there. I think you was there too. I don't know if you were there. I don't know if you were there, but Cuffs was sitting right there, and the Cuffs was just kind of leaning over the banister. And I said, you know what, Cloud? You at a disadvantage. You got a broke leg. But when you heal up, I'm going to beat your ass. I told him that, bro. Man. I told him, I said, when you heal up, he said, oh, no, man, we cool. We just joking or whatever. I said, bro, you know I don't like you. And he wasn't used to it. He probably thought it was just going to be some honky-dory. I said, nah. When I catch your ass, when you heal up, I'm going to beat your ass. And Cuff was just sitting.
Yeah, he probably fucked him up.
Cuff was just sitting there. He just kind of looked over and he looked back at the lunch table. Because he was on the second floor just kind of leaning over. He didn't say shit.
Right.
So Cloud probably thought that Cuffs was going to kind of back him up. Because you remember when the first time I met Cuffs. The first time I met him, he walked up and said, what you got on my 40? I remember, I'll never forget that shit. This was like the first couple weeks that we got into, it had to have been 9th grade team, or was it 10th grade? What grade was that when you introduced me to him? Do you remember?
What?
When you introduced
9th
me to
grade.
Cuffs? It was not, are you sure?
Yeah.
It had to have been 9th grade. It had to have been late 9th grade or something. The end of the year. I don't know when it was. But I don't know if you brought him over for a test or whatever, because you know how Cuffs, he used to bully Wale and he used to bully all the other niggas. And he couldn't bully me. You brought him to me and you were like, oh, this DP Cuffs. And Cuffs was like, hey, what you got on my 40? And I said, nigga, I ain't got shit on your 40. Then he act like he was going to try to wrestle me or some shit. I didn't even know the nigga. And he was bigger than me and shit, you know what I'm saying? But like we kind of, you know, start wrestling and shit like that. And then, you know, and I think you had told me, you said the reason why Cuffs didn't mess with me is because he thought I was a GD.
Yeah.
I think you told us some shit like that or whatever. Because I remember he used to really, like, I remember one time we were in the locker room one time, bro. And I think remember when Wale tried to get Buck on him a little bit and he choked Wale up? I know you remember that. He choked the shit out of him and Wale, it was hilarious. And I was telling Wale one day, like, man, because you know, Wale wasn't little. He was kind of big. Right. And I'm like, man, Wale, you need to be putting hands and feet on niggas. You big as shit. You tall and you kind of bulky. Like, you know what I'm saying? You should, man, I said, I told Wale one day, I said, bro, if I had your size, I'd be putting hands and feet on niggas. You know, but yeah, when Cloud was doing all that talking, you know, cause he had his crutches and stuff on, right? And Cuffs was sitting there. And, you know, I dislike Cloud so much. I don't know if it was a disdain, but I didn't. You know why I didn't like him? You know how I was, bro. If a nigga does something to me, I kind of hold that for a minute. Like, I don't forget that shit. If somebody does something to me that I ain't like and it was unwarranted, I just don't like you forever. Like, you know what I'm saying? Right. I just don't care for you no more. I think something where I think Cloud might have tried to take my hat at one of your parties or some shit like that. And we kind of got into it. I don't remember what it was, but I just didn't care for him. So, like, I was actually contemplating, bro, like, when he had his crutches, I was gonna throw his ass off that banister.
Wow.
Yeah.
You was gonna take it all the way there.
Man, I was gonna throw his ass off that banister, bro. I don't know what would have happened after that. I probably would have went juvie after that shit or something. I was gonna throw his ass over the banister, man. I swear I would. I was thinking about it. I was,
you don't catch a case.
Yeah, I said, okay, Seidel's just gonna come and get me and shit. I was gonna throw his ass off that damn banister.
He's like a Matt Cloud's like a little Reese.
Yeah, I don't know.
One of them types.
Yeah, I don't know.
One of them goofies.
Yeah, the shit was crazy. The shit was crazy.
Yep. Well, DP, I'm gonna have to call it a night. It's getting kind of late here. I gotta lay down. But it's a pleasure being on with you guys.
We'll do it again, man.
You definitely will.
We'll do it again. Over and out, bro.
Brother, peace.
Peace. This is the Baglandpodcast. You guys have not heard this in a while. We will be getting the Cyber Sambo report soon here. Promise you.